Hey, we're back, just like I promised. Look at all these fabulous people. There's a definite nautical theme going on here today. We're so glad you could join us. What a crew. I'm so excited that this is who I ended up with for this game, and I think you will be too. Just again, as a little bit of an overview of the system, in Fiasco, think of all the movies that you love where people are driven by their desires and wants, and things go hilariously wrong for them. Think about Office Space. Think about any Coen Brothers movie, and that's what we're doing today, okay? So things are going to go off the rails. In a previous session, in a session 0, we all figured out what our relationships are to one another. And so what we're going to do is, as we go around, I'm going to ask each cast member to introduce themselves, what their name is, and then sort of what their character's name is, and then what their relationship is to the next character down the line. So I'm going to start with Jordan. Hi, Jordan. But first, I'll tell you that all you need to know is that I'm Jordan's uncle today, which is exciting. Not only her uncle, I'm her eccentric uncle. So I've got that going for me. But Jordan, who are you and who are you playing?
I am Jordan, and aka Sassy with Sander, and today I'm going to be playing Margaret Muggin, who happens to be a rivaling stewardess with Brittany's character.
Oh, Margaret Muggins, that's so nice. Brittany, I hear you're a stewardess. Brittany Lee, we're so glad you're here. What's your character's name?
Well, my character's name is Georgia. Georgia's from Tennessee, and she really wants to be the best stewardess that there ever was on this ship. Oh, and maybe she found someone in her closet?
That seems
maybe
unusual.
Johnny's character?
I wonder who it is. Let's check with Johnny and find out. Hey, Johnny Blams, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited. How about you?
I'm great. I'm super pumped. Hey, what do you want to share about who you are, who your character is, and what they're up to, what they're doing on this ship?
Sure. I'm playing a character named Gilbert Group, Captain Gilbert Group, and not captain anymore. His ship was destroyed. He is a rescued whaler who's now been taken aboard the SS Siren Song, and I'm going to leave kind of the backstory and details a little bit out of the scene for right now and kind of elaborate that when we get into it, but I'm really excited to see what Gilbert gets into with this lovely cast of people.
And there might be a closet involved. Mm-hmm. And then somehow Gilbert is linked to the person on my stage left, my good friend Anna. It's Nymeria. Hi, Anna. You look great.
Hello. Thank
you. I looked in chat, and Diane thinks that you're the chef aboard the ship.
I guarantee you don't want to eat anything that this character makes in a kitchen. Hi, I'm Anna, and today I'm going to be playing Millicent Trove Bickleworth, one of the bon vivants about the ship, and also the purser. I'm kind of in charge of all of the funds, rescuing certain marooned whalers on the ship, and BFFs with my other buddy over here, Milton, the eccentric uncle. I'm just eccentric, no uncles required. So,
yes, I'm Milton. I'm Milton Catamaran Muggins of the Boston Catamaran Muggins. And uncle to Margaret. Hello, Margaret. And platonic life partner to Millicent. Millicent and Milton, good friends, bon vivants, overindulgers. I'm trying not to be British. It's really hard. Hey, one more time before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Helmgast, who make the terrific game Cult and Cult Divinity Lost, which you'll want to stick around and watch after this, and Modifius, where you can buy Star Trek, but also fun games like Dishonored and other role-playing games, pretty much anything you want. So be sure to give them a shout out and big thanks to them. So, as I mentioned, we all have relationships with each other. We have these little links between our characters, but there are parts of our relationship that aren't defined yet. And so we each have between us a need, a location, or an object. And before the show, we rolled all these D6s, and we have a limited number of dice left. And so we're going to use them to determine what we have in common, and then the further definition. There's like a big category and a small category. Now, this means nothing to all of you watching at home, but we have 2 4s left. We have 1 3. we have 3 2s, and we have 5 1s. So we don't have any 5s or 6s, gang. That's all you need to know. But let's again go around, and we're going to further define these relationships. And these sort of objects and locations and needs and desires are going to be the thing that sort of drives this whole story to ruin. So, Jordan, are you ready? Do you have that little sheet set up, that little thing open? And do you have an idea of what you want to have in common with me, your eccentric uncle, or with your rival steward, Georgia? Do you want a need or a location or an object with one of us?
I am thinking, I think that I'm going to do need.
A need.
And I
Okay.
think I want to
Okay.
And then I think I want to do it with
With who?
Brittany.
With who? With Brittany. Okay, with the steward. Great. So it's a need that you're going to share with Brittany. Now, your choices are, remember, we have no 5s or 6s. So you're picking the broad category here, Jordan. You can pick revenge, something from that. You can pick truth. You can pick respect or recovery. Those are sort of the broad categories that you and she will share, your story will share. You want to pick one of those?
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, yeah,
be
please.
from either direction. I want
Sure,
to do
yeah,
one,
absolutely.
'cause I did that on the
Okay,
face,
great.
frankly.
So you want to, we know that Margaret and Georgia share a revenge need. Now, we don't know what that is exactly until someone further defines it. Let's go to Brittany. Brittany, do you want to figure out what that revenge need is? Or do you
Very
want to
possible.
define the relationship between you and the whaler in your closet?
That's that is great. I really want to maybe do something with the yeah, let's do me and the whaler. And
Okay,
let's
cool.
do
Yark.
truth
Okay.
too.
We,
As a need?
yeah, we can definitely do that. That means we have 2 2s left and 4 1s. So there is some sort of truth relationship between you and the whaler. And I'm going to, now it could be a location or an object too. You know that, right?
I was going to ask, I didn't know that, but I was going to ask if we could also
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Do you want to change it?
Actually, okay. Let's do this. Let's do something else. Let's do objects. Also
Okay,
two, though.
cool.
Some nautical objects.
Also
that we
two.
share.
That makes perfect sense. A nautical object for this whaler who's aboard the ship. Awesome. So we lost a 1. We
Nice.
lost a 2. Johnny, do you want to touch on that nautical element with you and Georgia, or do you want a need, location, or object with Millicent?
I think I wanted to find that object and just get the brain racking on that, if that's cool with you.
Sweet.
Can we go with can we go with the master key, please?
Oh, I like that.
There's
like
a
it.
lot
And-
of,
and,
lot
you
of
know-
possibility with that.
Who knows what that unlocks, right?
Or who knows if I keep
Yeah.
it, or who knows if somebody gets it. Just having you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sure. Maybe it opens the closet. We don't know. Awesome. Let's go to Anna. Anna, you have either direction.
Yes.
You can do a need, location, object with either myself or with Johnny.
I was thinking about having
Yeah,
a patient
Millicent.
in common. Yes.
Hey,
What?
location with whom?
With our whaler in the closet. Obviously, it can't
Oh,
be in
yes.
the closet really, but yes, let's do it. Let's go
Location.
with.
You still have 1
What
through 4.
about on deck and off? Since we are on a ship after all, it's a place of
Okay,
business.
yeah, a very shippy location. I like it.
Yes.
Got it. So that's a 4 that's gone. Excellent. I'm still sort of eyeballing this. We only have 1 4 left. Oh, and it's over to me. I'd like to look at the relationship between. Yeah, I'd like to look at the relationship, I think, between myself and my niece. And she already has that sort of need, so I'm not going to do that. I think I'll do location with Margaret. And so we still have 1 through 4 left. We have lots of ones, but that's like a flashback thing, and I don't want to do that. It could be someplace on board, or it could be mayhem. It's mayhem. So that's easy. The location, I spent a 3 to make the relationship between Margaret and her uncle to have something to do with mayhem. Now, back to you, Jordan. We're going around one more time. Do you want to define the mayhem, or do you want to define the revenge?
Oh my goodness. Both of
I
these
know,
are
right?
beautiful options.
Mhm.
And 4, 3, 2, 1. Or
Yep,
did
we
we
still
just
have
use
all
one?
4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. We
Okay.
still have 1, 4
Not
left.
3.
Oh, we're out of
Didn't you
3s.
just use 3? I think you just used
No,
the
we
3
still have it.
on me.
We still have 2 3s left.
2 3s.
So-
That I'm gonna-
I think so.
oh,
Am I wrong?
I trust you.
Yep.
I trust
Okay, good. If not, we're just making it up.
you.
So for revenge, you could pick she humiliated you and she's rooming across the hall. Revenge on your rival. That would make sense. Revenge because your family was
Yeah.
destroyed by capitalists.
I think that I'm definitely gonna go with the she humiliated you and she's rooming across the hall.
That makes sense. Okay, so she did something to humiliate you. And this doesn't have to happen right away at the beginning of the story. This could happen throughout, too. So all you need to know is you're shared by this need for revenge, one of you on the other, for being humiliated. So maybe Margaret humiliates Georgia, or maybe vice versa. Okay, let's go over to Brittany. Brittany, your need and object on both sides of you are full, which means you can sort of help define the location between Nymeria and Johnny, or you could define anything between me and Millicent, or you could define the mayhem between me and Margaret.
Could I define? Okay, just to clarify, there are 3s left.
No, I was wrong. There's no 3s left.
Darn
0.
it. Okay, I was thinking on those 3s that I didn't think we had it. I had
Yep, my
okay.
brain's
there-
not working.
2 and 4. 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2,
That sounds right.
4.
I think we have 1
let's
4, 2 2s, and a bunch of 1s.
All right, let's get rid of some of those 1s and say that Millicent and Gilbert were the location they share is the observation deck.
Oh, I like that. We love the observation deck. I like
I
I
was
it.
love
hoping for
being
that as
able to
well, so that's
spy
great.
on whatever is going on.
Sweet. So we're gonna combine that. We'll just jump right ahead and do that. Okay, Johnny, you want to further do that sort of? Well, what do you have left? Oh wait, who has the observation deck? Is it Nymeria? Is it Anna and Johnny?
Yes, I
Yes.
am part of the observation deck.
All right, that's observation deck. So Johnny, that's defined. You can help define me and Millicent, or you can define the mayhem
Excellent.
between me and Jordan.
Let's go with you and Millicent. Let's do that.
I love it. So it's wide open. Do you want to do a location, a need, or an object? And,
What are my numbers again? Because we no 3s, right?
1,
0 3s.
You have. I
1.
believe we have 1 4 left. 1 2 and 2 1s. I don't know, something like that. 1 2 or 4.
Go with a bunch
Alright,
of 1s. Just
sweet.
pick something 1,
Sweet.
2, or 3, and we'll be fine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I want to do. I'm gonna do for objects. I'd like to do 1 unmentionable.
I love it.
I think that could,
Mhm.
I think that could
Those
throw
are
a
real
wrench in
good.
some things.
So, I love it. So something unmentionable.
unmentionable.
I don't know if it's unmentionable. How are we going to learn about it? Anna, it's your turn. Do you want to define what that unmentionable thing is?
About that body in your stateroom, I think.
I love it.
rolled-
So there's a body. There's a body in our stateroom. Terrific. And I'm last. And last, last gets to be wild, so I'll just pick something to define that mayhem. Chat, feel free to chime in if you have an idea here. The relationship between Milton Catamaran Muggins and his niece Margaret Muggins is going to be defined by some sort of mayhem. Is it a flooded companionway in the eye of the storm? So a flooded hallway, right? A truly unfortunate juxtaposition of hull and iceberg, boarded and ravaged, capsized, collapsed bulkhead taking on water, or adrift and on fire. I get the feeling this is how the story is going to end today, but if you have a suggestion, if you have one of those that you want to hear, let's go around. What do you guys think? Cast, what do you think? Which one of these things should involve me and my niece? Pope says adrift and on fire. Rex wants to know ravaged by what? Adrift and on fire is real good, so let's go with that. I've heard 2 for that already, so that's it. At some point during the story, not right away, but at some point, she and I will be in a location that is adrift and on fire. Awesome. So here's how this works. We're going to have scenes. Each of us gets the spotlight for a turn, and we go around the table twice. Then we're going to have an intermission, and then we're going to go around the table 2 more times, and then an aftermath montage wrap up. Okay? So I think we're ready. We are aboard the SS Siren Song, which is a cruise liner in the year 1938 between the cities of New York and Southampton in a transatlantic voyage. We are all on this boat for one reason or another, but the first scene is going to go to our friend Jordan, who is no longer Jordan, but is now Margaret Muggins. Jordan, you get to set up this scene. You get to establish what's going on. Where are you? What's happening? And do you want any of us to be in the scene as well?
Yes. So, Margaret is in the transportation that we took to boat, and she is with her dear, beloved, slightly eccentric uncle, and also her profoundly best friend, or profoundly, what is that? Profoundly best friend. Yes, profoundly best.
Yeah.
Who is also the life partner of my uncle. And so we pull up and see this beautiful ship in front of us. When we open the door, you can smell the salt on the air with breezes of wind. It kind of blows you away a little bit. And Margaret steps out and grabs her bag real fast.
So we get out of this long car, and all 3 of us are at the docks, ready to board this ship. And I say there, driver. Here's how, Millie, darling, Millie, how much do you tip a driver?
Oh gosh, I don't
$20?
know. Would 100 do it?
$50?
Sure. I don't usually handle the cash myself.
Oh, right, that's okay. Well, here's $50, Mr. Driver. And the driver looks very happy. And sort of, I take all of our bags and I say, Porter, take these ports above the ship. Now, niece Margaret, are you excited to board this enormous vessel?
You know, I've always really wanted to go on an adventure. But also, is there shopping on here? Because I have some, shopping to do.
I don't rightly know. Millie, darling, is there shopping on the ship?
Oh, I'm actually not quite sure about that. All of my previous experience aboard the water has been on river boats where it's a little bit less shopping and a little bit more gambling. Yes, although I suppose that's shopping of the sort, I suppose. Why? Would you have
There
in
may
mind?
be gambling.
That's some fish or life jackets.
There may be gambling.
Maybe?
That's like shopping, but with a higher degree of risk.
Oars and paddles. I don't know. I'm sure you can find all sorts of things aboard a ship.
You can buy a paddle.
For rowing a boat.
That's not exactly what I had in mind, but I mean, if you want to buy a paddle, we could buy a paddle, and then you could have the paddle, and I could go find something better.
Oh, yes.
Let's go, and she's gonna start towards the ship. She's very excited.
And I think there's this whole sea of people who are just sort of boarding, and people of all sorts of different stations in life. But it is a nice ship. It's very big. And so all of us go aboard the ship. Jordan, is there anything else you want to happen in this scene as Margaret boards the ship?
I am very content with her boarding the ship.
Okay.
She's definitely
Great.
looking for a swimming pool, and that's where I'll leave that.
Okay. Great. So so at the end of each scene, we get a resolve die. So we get a good or a bad. And then you give that away to one of your castmates during this first act. So, Jordan, do you think that ended good or bad for Margaret? There's no shopping.
I think that it ended bad, and I don't think she realized it ended bad, but it ended bad because she has no idea what she's gotten herself, what she's gonna actually have to do.
So it's bad, but she just
thinks
doesn't
it's a
know it.
vacation.
Okay, great.
Right.
Okay, so Jordan,
Yeah.
you get a bad die. So everyone keep a tally of whether you have a good die or bad die, and you can give that to someone else. It can be anyone. Who do you want to give it to?
Ooh.
Make it a little collection.
I'm just gonna give it to you and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I have one bad die. That's great. All right, let's keep moving around. Brittany, it's your turn. How do you want to establish this scene?
Cool. So do we have to go linearly, or can I? Okay.
Nope.
So I think this would.
You can have a scene with Jordan. You can have a scene with someone across from you.
Cool. I'm gonna have a scene with an NPC. If someone wouldn't mind playing my chief steward. This would be like
Whose
two
name is
shifts
Stu?
into Chief Stew. Exactly. Any volunteers?
Anyone want to play a steward?
I can play a steward if you'd like.
The chief.
Let me take out
Chief steward. Yes.
the
please.
chief
Thank you, Johnny.
steward, big head
It's the
honcho.
most important. Yes, exactly. So yeah. Well, I was just looking at the schedule, and I noticed I was on with Margaret again, and her first shift didn't go so well. She was mostly lounging, with sunglasses on, and she kept asking me for drinks, and I just
Lounging.
yes, I think she's just getting used to the ship. But if you could just maybe match her with someone different for this evening shift, I'd very much appreciate it. Not that I can't handle the extra load. Her hand's permanently affixed like this, by the way, too, because she's just this is just how her wrist is. Is there something we can do about that?
Sure. Let me look at everyone's schedule here. And he starts to kind of fumble with a bunch of papers like I am doing now. And he's like, yes, I could move Miss Abigail's shift up 2 hours, bring her shift down, and then put you somewhere in the middle. Does that work for you?
Oh, Stu, that is just, I would do exactly the same if I were you. That is the best decision. Thank you so much. If you could also just maybe not tell Margaret that I, suggested this.
May I ask why?
Oh, well, I just don't want any bad blood. I'd love to be friends with her. She's a nice girl.
If you want my 2 cents, my lady, if you want someone to be your friend, you tell them how you feel about them. Maybe you should tell her to quit lounging with her sunglasses. But regardless, I will gladly change the schedules for you.
Thank Chief Stu.
Consider it done.
I knew I could count on you.
Yes,
That's
don't
great.
worry about
Brittany,
it.
that seems like is that Chief Jimmy Stewart? It turned into Chief Jimmy Stewart for a second there. See? That's it's not even Jimmy Stewart. Brittany, that seemed like it ended pretty well for Georgia. Did she get what she wanted?
Absolutely.
so you get a
I
good-
wasn't sure it was going down like that.
You get a good result die. Who do you want to give it to?
I'm gonna give that good result die to Anna, to Millicent, because man, she has so many jobs. She's got so many
She
roles.
sure does.
Oh yes.
She
Uh-huh.
needs it.
And she also has 4 resolve die. Look at all those, Anna. Did you see all the dice in the
Yes.
corner of your screen? Look at you. And a hat. That's great.
Remind me again,
So,
what do I do with those?
oh, great. Okay, so you'll notice when those first 2 scenes, everyone at home, that they just sort of organically went good or bad, depending on how we did them. When you spend one of those resolve die, anytime during your scene, during someone else's scene, you can determine how that scene ends. So if you want this next scene to add poorly for Johnny's character, you can spend one of those die. Does that sound good? Yeah, it does sound good, I bet. Hey, real quick, big shout out to the Chaos Chorus because we have already smashed our retweet and our goal for the day. What's all that? That's terrific. So that means that as soon as we get going on this boat, the weather is going to change for an indeterminate amount of time. It also means that between the first 2, we are going to have a second tilt added to increase the chaos. So everyone help me remember that we've got 2 tilts coming. But let's move on and talk with Johnny. Johnny, how do you want to establish this scene? You also have a resolve die that you can use on yourself or on somebody else if you'd like.
Cool. I think the way I pictured introing ex-captain Gilbert Group was he is aboard the ship already. He's very drenched, wet. He definitely smells of the sea. There might be some. I couldn't find any seaweed. I tried, but there's seaweed kind of and just fragments of the ocean throughout his jacket and in his white beard. And he's kind of sitting on the edge of the boat, kind of just looking out.
Okay, so he's been rescued at some point. Are we? Do you think we're on our way? Are we underway, as they say in boats?
I would say we can be underway, right? That would make sense. I'm not the most nautically knowledgeable. Yeah.
No, I mean these are all ship.
Yeah.
These are all boating terms that we all know very well. So we are embarked and underway, and there is a stinky wet man sitting on the edge of the ship. And Johnny, what do you want to happen in this scene?
I would actually hope that Brittany, as a steward, starts to walk past me as I'm this drenched, wet man staring at the edge of the boat like this, and he's clearly very disheveled and kind of like shaking, and he's like,
Excuse me, sir. Could I give you a drink, or is there anything? Wait.
Have you seen the captain around here?
Well, I don't communicate with the captain that often. I can point you to the chief stew, Jimmy Stew.
No, I don't think I want any of your stew. What I was promised by the captain when he rescued me was dry clothes and a nice meal. But here, old Gilbert is waiting on the deck, waiting for whatever it is I'm waiting for now. Could you help me maybe get some food in me belly?
Well, you did just say you didn't want any stew, but
Not a big stew guy.
Okay, so you want to eat, but you just don't want stew. Then is that right?
Correct. Slightly picky.
Okay.
I am.
All right. Well, r/choosing beggars, but okay. Well, maybe come with me. And Georgia's gonna usher him away, mostly because she doesn't want other guests to see and ruin her tips for the night. So she'll usher him into the quarters. This way, and she'll take you to where like the employees eat, and like a break room.
yeah.
I'm going to
during
spend my resolve die
right
here. Pause. Time out. I'm going to spend my resolve die to say that for Gilbert, this is going to end poorly. Because I don't want him to get anything.
Excellent.
Because I'm a big meanie. And so I'm going to spend that and say that somehow you all have to resolve this in a very negative way for Gilbert. So you enter the room. You're in the...
Now, Georgia looks around. There's no one else here. Please, if you could just stay here, all right? There's food over there and drinks over here, and just stay, okay?
Yes, I think I can do that just fine.
Okay,
And he kind of like,
oh,
like
what do
keeps like glancing around the room, just like very disheveled, like.
Got it.
So do you walk away or do?
Yeah. So George is going to go out and find one higher up than her to just offload this problem, and maybe she immediately runs into security.
Cheap stew. Oh, okay,
Cheap
great.
stew.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
let's
want-
say
I
no.
don't
I like that.
Johnny have to interact with himself.
Quick chat. What's the name of boat police? What do you call a policeman on a boat? Security. That person is called Boris the boat cop. As
Yeah.
Charlie just wrote. So a large man with a large mustache comes across and he says, "You Georgia Stewart, what do you want?"
Oh, Boris. Oh, thank goodness. There's a man in the break room, and he's dirty and wet, and I just had to kind of squirrel him away. But can you please do something about that in there? Just he might be.
Yes,
He's not
yeah,
eating
no
stew, which
problem.
is great. 'Cause that's all we have in there. But
Not eating stew? What is his problem? What is wrong with
no,
this
and
man?
please, yes, please let him have it for that. He's just
I
right in there,
will.
right in there.
I will. And Boris goes into the room, and you hear shouts from inside as he force feeds stew to Gilbert Group. And then drags Gilbert out, and I'm going to say he goes off, and this is bad for Gilbert, but we don't know where they go. We just know that Boris wants to put him someplace secure, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice. Love it.
Johnny, you good with that? I think you got a bad.
Yeah, I'm great with
bad
that.
result. Who do you want to give
Sure.
that die to?
Yeah.
That bad result die.
I
So you
think
give
I
that
gotta
die,
give it back-
die
I
to
think
somebody.
No, you already have one. You already have one. So
I do have one.
I think I'm gonna give one to Jordan. I'm gonna give a bad result
cool.
die to Jordan. I don't want to give you two.
Excellent,
That seems like
excellent.
too much at this stage, right?
Never know. Sure, it's early. It's early. Speaking of early, Anna, what is Millicent doing, and what kind of scene do you want to set up?
Oh gosh, I think Millicent would like to set up a scene with that captain. What's his name? Gilbert. Yes, Gilbert. I wonder if he comes
that
with something
captain.
or not.
Yeah.
It could be very interesting. Yes, that the former captain of the former whaling ship. Yes, of course. Well, I think that the location that he has gone to cool off, so to speak, after being force-fed that odious mush that passes for food around here is my office, because as a matter of fact, although I'm not very good at handling petty cash, my family owns the shipping company. What do you know? So I can just decide
so
if I
you
like
got a
to
job.
sail across. Yes, well, a job really. It's more of like just a trivial distraction every now and then. But I suppose I could go speak to this captain. And yes, I'm sorry, but
What is Millicent's
you
office?
seem a little bit lost here. What? Sorry, what? What does Millicent's office do? What now?
I just want to know what it looks like. Is she in there a
well,
lot?
I've
or is it
actually
just-
no, I've actually never been here before. It's still kind of got some boxes that haven't really been unpacked very well yet. Portholes nearly painted shut, but I'll be able to wrench it open before too long. I'm actually quite surprised to find my name on the outside of the door of it. If I'm being perfectly honest, that normally this sort of thing doesn't happen to me. Yes, you, sir, there. Now, I'm sorry, who did you say you were again? You say you were a captain of some kind, yes? Gilbert?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I used to be a captain until a giant whale destroyed my vessel and my crew.
Now,
And you can
see,
tell like he's
that-
kind of like seeing stuff in his head. He's like,
Yes. Yes, quite. I'm going to pull out a little, very small hip flask, about an ounce or two, and just offer it to the good captain. And you're like, yes, how terribly tragic for you. See, I hope that you'll have better luck on this ship. But you see, I simply cannot have you running around ruining the fanciful reputation of the Sea Siren in these dreadful rags, darling. They're quite hideous. I mean, I'm sure if you were to step out of them, the sea salt would leave them completely still with the shape of a man inside them, but nothing. They're just filthy, and it simply will not do. We have got to do something about this coat.
Are you? Well, the captain told me he'd bring me clean clothes and a hot meal, but then this giant man started force feeding me stew, and now I'm here in your office, so I would gladly oblige to putting on new clothes. That's what I wanted from the very beginning. Some new clothes,
Well,
and perhaps a meal.
I see you've run into Boris. Wonderful. Let's see what we've got in here. And I think, do I use one of these dice to say something is true, or what? Can I use it on myself? Oh no, wait, I can use it on him. I'm going to use one of them on Gilbert to say that despite never having been in this office, I just pop open the closet and what do you know, there's a lovely sea coat with some beautiful fringed epaulets. It's got the little insignia of the Sea Siren, which is a rather buxom female mermaid, if that sort of persuasion, you know what I mean? Embroidered upon the breast, and yeah, some very shiny buttons. Now, just put that on, dear, and try and freshen up a little bit when you go use the facilities. As for the stew, I'd be careful with that. Granted, this is my first time making the crossing, but I hear there's a secret ingredient. Watch out. Just watch out.
That's all, just that it's secret. You've heard nothing else about this ingredient y'all are putting in your stew.
No, it's hardly my stew. I'd never go down to the galleys myself. All I do is sign the paychecks and then give them a nice Christmas party every once in a while.
Yes, but there's a reputation of this stew apparently, and you're very aware that there's a secret ingredient. Is that public knowledge? But you're making it sound like it's negative. Oh, regardless, I appreciate the dry clothes, lassie. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely, dear.
Scene?
I think so.
Cool. How did that go? I mean, you found the clothes in your closet, so I'd say it ended pretty well, yeah?
You got a
But it's up to you,
beautiful
Anna. What
new
do you think?
outfit for free. Yes, no, I think that was quite splendid for Gilbert here.
Mm-hmm. So, Anna, you have a good result die to give away. Who do you want to give it to?
Does that mean that the person's scene ends well next?
No, it doesn't. They add it to a collection, and then whoever has the most die, good or bad, will determine what the tilt is between acts.
Ooh. I think I'm going to give that one to Gilbert. Well, I just
Excellent.
gave
Gilbert,
him
you got a
quiz.
good
Might as well
result
give him
die.
something nice to put in his pockets.
Sure. He finds he reaches in, finds a good result die in there from the previous owner. All right, so we have I'm trying to think of all the. So we have a boat cop. We have stew with a secret ingredient. The lore around this ship is growing at an exponential rate. I love it. Terrifico. Terrific. So, hey, it's my turn. I think that just as Gilbert is leaving the purser's office, Milton Catamaran Muggins shows up with a drink in each hand and is staring at the door, absolutely at a loss for how to knock on the door. I've got one here, and I've got one here. So he stands there and he says, Millie, darling, I cannot open the door. I've got beverages.
Stand back, and I'll just open the door out into the hallway.
Yes, well done.
Oh, thanks.
Well
That's
done.
awfully
Tom
nice
Collins.
of you. And she just takes the closest one out of your hand without waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, say, who is that curious gentleman who looked like a sea captain but smelled like a refuse container?
You know, I actually haven't the foggiest who he really is, but he says that he used to be the captain of a whaling vessel at some point. What is important
think
is
he's-
who he is going to be now that he is aboard this ship.
And who's that, dear?
We
Just
have to
a
find
fence,
out.
fence. Oh yes, I'm excited. You don't think he's the captain of this ship, do you?
Oh, certainly not. I suppose it all depends on whether he decides to partake of the stew or not.
Oh, the stew. Why? What's wrong with the stew?
No, there's nothing wrong.
Are you
with it.
talking
In
about the
fact,
chief steward?
Well,
Are you talking about
there's
Jimmy
quite a lot of
Stew?
things. Yes, Jimmy Stew. There's nothing wrong with Jimmy Stew, of course.
Oh, good. I was worried.
Yes. Yes. Well, not as far as I know, anyway.
Yes.
Should probably.
Well,
do
I
an
wanted to
audit
thank
or
you.
something.
Yes. I wanted
For
to thank
what?
you once again for getting the job for Margaret. It's going to be a good experience for her to spread her wings and make something of herself. We're helping people left and right, aren't we?
I don't. Yes, I don't understand what you mean. Make something of herself. You just sort of. Well, we made something nice for her, and we're just sort of giving it to her because we're very clever that way. But I suppose she
And I
can
think
make
in the
something
middle of-
nice. I hope it's a cocktail.
In the middle of this. In the middle of this conversation, we start the ship begins to tilt back and forth because we've hit that retweet goal, and so stormy waters
dear.
sort of set in on the ship, and Milton is sort of swaying back and forth, and he looks down at his glass and he sort of stares at it. He says, "Millie, dear, is your beverage trying to escape from your glass? Mine is going
look
this way
down.
and that."
Oh, the cup's already empty, darling.
Admirable. And he finishes his off as well. And he says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go perhaps drink myself into unconsciousness." And he stumbles out of the room to return to the place he went. I think that in that scene, Milton got trashed, which was his ultimate goal. And so that ended well for him. And I have a good result tie to give away, and I'm going to give it to Anna for the tedious task of doing 2 scenes in a row. And so now you have another good result tie, Anna. Okay, once around. We're going to go once around before the end of the act, and things get more complicated. Let's see. It is Jordan's turn. Jordan, what kind of scene do you want to establish here?
I would like to stir the pot a little bit.
Ooh.
So, after your conversation with Stu, he did change your shift. I'm going to do it with Brittany, and he did change your shift.
Yeah.
However, it wasn't something that was manageable because immediately following that, he spoke to him. So, y'all are on a shift together. And can this happen at the same time that the ship tilts?
I love it.
Or does it need to be
So,
after? Okay.
no. So the storms hit,
So,
and yeah.
And we're both standing behind the little, I guess we're serving drinks on the deck. And we're both standing behind the little bar. And Margaret's leaned over with both of her elbows on the counter and her head in her hands, talking to several suitors lined themselves up on the bar. "Oh my goodness, and you wouldn't believe it. Oh, I got the most wonderful tan in the sun today. It was lovely. You know what? Hey Georgia, can you get us some drinks over here? Because I just have the best story." And she's gonna continue to go through.
Well, Margaret, this is progress. You aren't lounging on a chair anymore. We got you behind the bar, so, but no, I'm not getting you any drinks.
What?
That's
Isn't
that's
that
your
literally
job.
our job? That's our job.
Yes, you're getting it. You're getting it. That's your job.
And she raises her eyebrows very sassily, and she goes, "Fine." And she's gonna pick up. She's not gonna pay attention to it. She's picking bottles, and most cringeworthy way possible is just gonna make an entirely 100% alcohol drink into a cup and just pour them and stare at Georgia and put them down and be like, see, I'm good at my job. And she's gonna drink it and immediately spit it out.
Ooh, oh yeah, not quite a highball there, but you'll get used to it. Here, let me show you. And Georgia, in front of these suitors, also is going to just effortlessly make the most gorgeous highball you've ever seen. Just basically just eyes closed, and she'll slide it across the table to one of the suitors and kind of wink.
I'm gonna say
And that's how
at
it's
this
done.
point, it's been the ship tilts, and Margaret is gonna fall and dump her drink all over you. Not on purpose. It's all an accident. Oh my goodness!
Excuse me. I make a good drink, and you're gonna tilt yours all over me? I don't think so. And also, Georgia's gonna look out and notice that everyone's drink has spilled at this point too, because the tilt happened across the boat, and is going to just like, its anxiety is filling her. She's thinking, "Oh my! I have to remake the bee's knees over there. I have to pour some more champagne over. Oh my! And she's just freaking out. This is giving her so much anxiety, and she's covered in whatever that drink was.
Margaret is now also extremely pointing out things that need to be fixed because she thinks it's her responsibility to point them out. She's not going to help them. She's like, my goodness, it's just such a big puddle over here. You might want to go get the towels from the closet because I think that those will work really well to clean it up. But also, did you notice
Margaret,
that
my dear,
yeah.
Please do me a favor. Could you get the towels and please refill Mr. Johnson's drink over there? And please, could you do these 4 things? I just need to change. I just need to run. I just need to change. I can't be seen like this.
For you, I'll take care of it. But I've got to go talk to them over there first. And she's gonna walk back to like the group who are sitting at the floor and lean over and continue her story. I'm so sorry.
I am going to get hell for this, but...
I just wanted to add to the scene that nepotism being what it is, even though you are frightfully incompetent at this, I would like to spend one of my resolve dice to make sure that your manager absolutely thinks you're delightful despite it all.
So,
I can do that if I want.
I think as this is happening, Jimmy Stew walks in, and Johnny, do you want to be
sees
Jimmy
me
Stew
walking
again?
away. Sees
Yeah,
me
Jimmy Stew
walking
again.
away from the
Yeah.
scene. Oh my god.
Margaret, my dear, you are just absolutely delightful. You do so much work around the ship, and us at the staff here at the SS Siren Song really cannot express our gratitude. So thank you so much for everything you do here.
I mean, what am I here for not to serve? And she smiles and like shrugs her shoulder a little bit. And she goes, I'm just feeling, all of this talking and, philanthropy is just, it's exhausting. Would you mind if I took like a break? I really just would like to sit for a minute.
You know what, my dear? Take the rest of the day off. We appreciate it so much. Your work just speaks for itself. Please take off the rest of the day. Have a day. Enjoy it.
Thank you. And then he kind of turns to Georgia and he looks at her ascot and he's like, straighten that ascot a little bit. And he like kind of like tries to like cover Georgia's ascot. And then like he like nods to both of them and kind of shimmies away as Jimmy Stew does, I think.
He shimmies?
Instead,
Is that his move?
As he walks. Like his walk is like, that's Jimmy Stew. And then
Mm-hmm. Is that how it ends? Do we have any last? No? Okay. Georgia looks furious, I'm sure.
It has to, yeah.
that-
Anxious, furious, covered in
Mhm.
whiskey and pineapple juice or something.
humiliated, one might say, as everyone remembers the relationship between the two of you. So one of you gets humiliated.
So a great revenge plot is born.
Whoa! What's all this? Jordan, that was obviously a great ending for you. Who do you want to give your good result die to?
I'm gonna give it to Brittany because I feel bad.
That's right.
I'm so mean to you.
Brittany, you get a pity good result die.
I'll take
and
it.
where, I guess, we keep following Georgia out of this humiliating situation for our next scene. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, she's kind of taking off her scarf and pulling off her jacket, and she's going to go into her quarters or whatever, boat terms, boat names.
Yeah, boat words.
Boat words. Insert your own. And she's mumbling, oh, Margaret Muggins. Yeah, that's right. Margaret Muggins. And she's just like whipping off clothes. And she opens her closet and reaches in for a new jacket. And she sees...
And there's Gilbert wearing one of her bras, like it's like slightly unfastened, and he's like sitting there like, you scared the barnacles off me boots! Ugh.
Excuse me, Captain? Wait, are you? And she
starts to unfasten the bra. He like gets out of the bra and like dusts it off.
Wait, you're not the captain of this ship. Wait, aren't you that stew-hating man I met on the side of the ship earlier?
And Gilbert tries to obviously lie his way out. And he's like, no, it must have been some other handsome young gentleman, while he's still wearing the same skull cap that he was wearing earlier when you confronted him.
Excuse me, sir, I am the best steward on this ship, and I know a face, and I remember a face. It's you. What are you doing in my... I thought Boris took care of you.
All right, listen. I believe we're in grave danger, and the reason I'm in your closet is to make a weapon to defend us in a case of emergency like me and my crew faced. You see, there's a beast out there unlike anything I've ever seen before.
And like you can tell he like goes back into that like Gilbert group brain where he's like reliving it.
You must be mistaken. Did you hit your head? Do you need medical attention? I saw you got some new fancy digs, but maybe some medicine or something.
Whiskey be my only medicine, lassie. However, if you could point me to the direction of the captain's quarters, that'd be great. And if you don't mind, I'll be taking this with me.
And he like holds her bra up like this and kind of like,
for my weapon, of course, to protect us.
Excuse me, I still don't understand what you were doing in my closet. Explain
well, you see,
yourself.
the door was slightly ajar. The door was slightly ajar, and I said, all right, well, I'm a stranded whaler who has no possessions nor really relationships to any of y'all sea people. So I figured, hey, finders keepers. There's no really rules on the sea. It's eat or be eaten, lassie.
Okay. Well, you asked me to see the captain when we first met, and I don't know how you got out of Boris's hands, but he must have trusted you, I guess. I guess I could try to take you to the captain. Would you close your eyes while I get a different outfit on? No, and
oh,
also,
of course, I
do you
can step
need
it out in the
that
hallway if you
here?
like. Yes,
Could
I
I
need
have
it in
that
case
back?
I was hoping to use it for a catapult, so that like I take a stick and then you take whatever this device is,
and he's like very confused with the bra, and he's like,
and then you take the stick and you know what? Fine, you can keep it. I won't use it for my weapon.
and he hands it back like begrudgingly, like, oh, take it.
Thank you. We have other tools and weapons on the ship, I'm sure. I'll just take this. Please, avert your eyes. And she'll change. She needs to change. She's having a moment. She just needs to get out of these clothes. So she's going to quickly freshen up. I have to get back to my shift. That other steward is just, probably lounging again. So let's go quick. And she'll kind of drag Gilbert to, I don't know, the captain's quarters? The ship? I don't know. Where's the captain? Do we have a captain?
That's a good.
I was
you
wondering
drag
if
him
we
off
could
to
have an
look for the
NPC captain. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that'd be
I
great.
take him to where I assume the captain is.
Chat, we need a name for this captain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the chat has been so good about naming people, like Boris the boat police. So we'll follow that. I mean, we're going to keep going, right? But first, Brittany, how'd that scene end for Georgia?
Bad? Not good.
I mean, there was a guy in her closet. There was
and
a
she
pirate in
saved-
her closet.
Right. That's not great. And
Okay,
she almost
cool.
lost a bra.
So-
So we'll say bad.
Yeah, and that was, and maybe it was your best one. What do you want to do with that good result die, and who do you want to give it to?
That is going over to
Jordan.
Yeah, Margaret Muggins.
Margaret Muggins. All right, sweet.
I had to get the
There's
full
another
name.
good result die for Jordan. All right.
I was,
Um,
excuse me there
yes,
for one
Anna.
moment. I would actually also like
Yeah,
to add
yeah.
in one of the resolution dice, something like
Mhm.
that I've got up in the corner here. You say eat would be eaten on this ship, and that might have something to do with why it's been so difficult to find the captain. Just might.
Oh, I like that suggestion. You don't even have to spend a die for that. Let's just sort of plant that in our brains that the captain might be harder to find than we think. And we're going to keep that scene going because, Johnny, it's your turn for a scene. And so Gilbert and Georgia are out. Or do you want to keep that going, or is this taking place sometime later, or we're going to flash forward?
I think we can keep going with it organically. I like how her scene would add to this scene. So I pictured as I'm actually going to, at the start of this scene, use this guy, and I would like there to be a big shiny golden key, like a very exaggerated key that's hanging off of someone's belt, as we are as me and Georgia are walking through the ship as she is taking me to find the captain. So
yeah, because
I
for
sort
those
walk
of you
down
who, as you might remember, you two are linked by this master key. And so you've got this big key hanging off your belt as you're walking down a hallway or looking for the captain. Go for it.
Excellent. I always picture ships hallways very narrow, so like Gilbert's like this kind of still wet like whaler guy in normal people's attire, right? Very odd looking gentleman walking through these narrow hallways, and he kind of like turns around, he's like,
So tell me about yourself, miss. How long you been aboard this vessel?
Well, I've gone back and forth between New York and Europe several times. I'm the best of the best, as I said. But I'm originally from Tennessee, and I don't know if you know about those aeroplanes, but one day I'm going to be up there serving drinks in the sky. And she kind of looks all starry-eyed. Oh,
Well, it's
what
nice
kind
to
of
dream,
ship
lassie.
did you say you came from? A cruise vessel like this, or?
My vessel was called the U.S. Shrimp Slayer. We were a shrimping vessel dabbling in hunting whales, and for 3 weeks my crew set out, and we were looking for a giant whale known out there as Old Chompy, and Chompy unfortunately found my crew before we could find them, and I took to the sea, and I jumped in when Chompy attacked our vessel, and I floated aboard where the captain helped rescue me with a lifeboat and all that jazz. It was quite an experience, but I don't really prefer to talk about Chompy. It was quite a traumatic event.
This Chompy thing that happened just now. That's why you're on.
No, this happened
ship
about 8 hours ago, probably. You know,
yes.
I was at sea
now,
for about
thank
3
you.
days, rescued 8 hours from now, and now I'm aboard this ship talking to you in this weird attire. It's been a crazy couple of days, all right? And now I got you and some crazy man forcing stew down my throat. It's something else. I'll tell you what.
I mean, the stew's not great, but it's not that bad. It's got a weird tang to it, and that
Question
meat
for
is
you.
kind of chewy. But yeah,
Do you know what I talked to a lass in a fancy office. It was kind of, rather desolate, but she said there was a secret ingredient in the stew. Would you happen to know anything about that?
Oh, it sounds like you've been talking to Miss Trough Bickleworth. She's always going on about some kind of secret ingredient stew. I don't know. That it can't be it. She's always talking crazy. Who knows? Who knows? Wait, why were you in her office? She's not ever in her office.
I don't know. Maybe she took a liking to old Gilbert. I've been known to be quite the charmer of the ladies and of shrimp, apparently. Hence my ship's named the U.S. Shrimp Slayer.
Doesn't sound right at all.
Well, maybe
yeah,
it's
the ship thing actually.
the aroma of the sea.
So you were.
I'm going to use this moment as you're like kind of bumbling. Gilbert spots this shiny gold key, and he goes "Yarg!" and he runs towards this key, snatches it off the belt, and is gone. He's just so quick, and as you're kind of like trying to figure out why I was in the office, he's just gone in the blink of a smelly, salty flash.
Okay, George is going to do her best to run after him. This man is her responsibility now.
Yeah, and that's where we'll end the scene. I think that's fantastic. Just to recap, the whale's name is Chompy.
Yeah, I didn't want to come into this with planned. That was my intention to not like, because I always had the idea like, okay, there's obviously a whale, there's a ship, there's crew members, but I was like, I'm not doing any of it till we get here, and then Chompy
Can't decide ahead of time. No, it's just
No, it's the
sometimes
George Bickleworth
when
way.
it's right, it's right. So there's Chompy. Gilbert was kind of chatting up Georgia a little bit. It was a little bit like he was trying to like be charming, and that was fun. And then he stole a key and ran away. So that's what happened. Johnny, how do you feel that went for our good friend Gilbert
Excellent.
Group, the ex-captain? I think so too. I think that's a good ending.
He's thrilled. He now has a shiny gold key that he has no idea what it's done, and yeah,
The charmer of
definitely
shrimp.
has gained something. Exactly. Yes. In shrimping.
Charmer of
games,
ladies,
he's very
and of
successful.
shrimp.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do you want to? And to whom do you want to give your good result die?
I'm gonna give it to. Let's see. I gave my bad to Jordan. I'm gonna give mine to Brittany because Brittany's in this story. If you look at like the chain of events, like first with Jordan and the insubordinate and her boss.
She's right in the middle of some real weirdos.
She's just having a hell of a day, right? Like her day is one of those days at
Trying to
work.
get
Like
to
if they had
the
Twitter
top.
back then, you'd be like, "Son of a gun, today was tough." So I'm gonna give it to Brittany. That's what we're gonna go with. Really bad.
Excellent. Let's move on. We have 2 more scenes before we hit the intermission. And so first we're going to go back to our friend Millicent Trough Bickleworth. And what's Millicent doing? Anna, what do you want this scene to be like?
Oh well, you see, I'm looking for the dear niece of my favorite best friend, ride or die for life. But it's a little bit difficult because, well, now that I've noticed that my name was on the outside of my office placard, I'm beginning to notice how many instances my family name is plastered all over the ship, which makes it damned confusing to navigate because all I see is MTB. Something Trough Bickleworth. We all have the same first initial going back just to keep things consistent. So I get a little bit lost and I think I'm bumbling around a bit, going up and down the same set of stairs several times. But eventually I make my way to where Margaret is and I am just like, oh, hello, dear. How's the first day on the job or whatever it's called going for you, dear?
When you walk up to Margaret, she's definitely on the deck in her swimsuit with sunglasses, sunbathing. And she looks at you and she goes, oh my goodness, I just had the most lovely day. My shift was absolutely chaotic, but you know what? That stew is just an absolute doll. He gave me the rest of the day off. Oh, you should join. And she like taps on the chair next to her.
Oh, you'll be gunning for a promotion in no time, and I'll just like sort of flop down on the chair and cross my legs extravagantly. Now tell me, darling, have they gotten you to start making the famous flaming shots of the ship yet? Because those are quite a lot of fun. You've got to watch out with the eyebrows. But, yes.
That, Oh, you know what? No, but I think I know the perfect person to teach me. Have you met Georgia?
Oh, well,
She
I
works
think I
like-
drove
she
through
works with
Georgia
me.
once, but... Oh, you mean a person? Oh, yes, of course. Co-worker.
Yes.
How
Yes,
droll.
no.
No,
So,
I don't believe
I
we've
met
had the pleasure
Georgia.
of being acquainted, no.
Well, you know what? She made the most amazing earlier, and I really think that she might be the person who could teach me how to do it. I
Oh,
should talk to
really?
her about that. I'm gonna add that to my list of
Definitely.
things to do. Maybe I'll do that later when I'm feeling productive and ready to run errands.
That's valid. What is it? Only like 10:30 in the morning, something like that. We've barely been on this ship at all, really.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's been a long morning.
Terribly exhausting. I know, I had to deal with the strangest man just sitting in my office. I mean, I had to go to my office for one thing, just kind of throwing the rest of the day for a loop, let me tell you. But finding a
No
strange
doubt.
whaling ship captain in there. Have you chanced to meet a very stinky fellow covered in seaweed for a while? He's much better looking now.
She
What?
raises her eyebrows and scrunches up her nose and goes, "No, not yet. I've seen some interesting people. Oh, I've met some lovely people, but I have not met them yet. Maybe I should do that as one of my errands later as well."
He does say he's a captain, after all. Might prove useful for something every so often. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to drive the boat, obviously.
You know what? I always thought that these things just ran on their own. I didn't know there was so much effort that went into making it go. Speaking of
Well,
captain,
you know,
can I
Mother-
meet the captain?
Can you meet the captain? Why, yes, of course.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell us all about him when you go see him, because I haven't the foggiest who the man is. Mother and father always used to say that it was our family legacy that kept these ships going, so it's rather difficult to imagine that one person could be up to the task of so many. But you must give him my regards when you do meet him finally.
And she kind of rolls over where, like, she's sunbathing her back now with her, like, hand on her, words are hard, her hand on her head. She goes, "Ooh, a vacation and a mystery." And she raises her eyebrows. I'll let you know how it goes.
Excellent.
And she'll,
Go back to sunbathing or something.
yeah.
Lays back, puts her
It's a very
sunglasses
cat-
back on.
Job.
Hmm.
You gotta time it all right and do move. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she wouldn't go back to work. That's fabulous. Is that a good ending for you, Anna? It's your scene, my friend. Is that a good ending for Millicent's
Oh, yes,
scene?
that's right.
Good play? Yes,
Well,
yeah.
satisfactory.
and-
I have the promise of a flaming shot in the future, so...
You just
Okay, very
invented
good.
flaming shots. So I think that's
And
definitely
you know
a good
what?
result.
I think I'll give that result die to Georgia, since she is ever so wonderful at making them herself. I can't wait to meet her. She's going to be divine, I think.
Everybody is so interested in Georgia. We're spilling things on her. We're hiding in her closets. We're hearing
She
good
hates
things
it.
about her. She hates it all. Fabulous. I love that. And so Georgia gets that good result die, Brittany. And you can add that to your pile, which is probably looking pretty good. Keep track of how many die you have. After this scene, whoever has the most is going to choose our 2 tilts for Act 2. So we'll bring up that little tilt table in just a second, and we'll take a look at it together. But I think I want to end. I mean, Act 1 has to end on a dramatic beat, right? So this is the end of Act 1, and I'm going to do a solo-ish scene where Milton is still sort of stumbling back down the hallway back to his room, and he still has drinks in both hands, but this time they're both for me. And he is sort of swaying back and forth, and he passes by some like officers on the ship, and they're having this like heated conversation and this look of panic in their eyes, and they're sort of like, where is he? I don't know. And they're obviously looking for the captain, and he ignores that entirely, and he goes back to his room, and he says, "I'm not feeling so well." And he opens the door. Is Millicent in the room at this point? Anna, do you think? Or would he come back alone?
I think she's probably just behind you. You've probably got about 5 minutes or so.
Yes, we're never far from each other. Yes. So he goes into the room, and at first he's by himself. This is the room that he and Millicent share together, as sort of scandalous as that might appear at first glance. Let's do everything together. So he's in his room, and there are the 2 beds there. He says to himself, Milton, old boy, I don't think we're feeling that well. And he sort of clutches at his stomach and says, shouldn't have had all that stew. Oh, I wonder what kind of meat that was in there. And then he goes to open the closet of his stateroom. And in his closet, he finds the half dissected body of the ship captain. So the body of the ship captain, who has had parts of him chopped off, and he just gets this big look of like astonishment in his eyes, and that's when Millicent walks in, and that's just the end of that scene, right? So that's the end of Act 1. Just to recap for everybody, something is very wrong here. There's a rescued whaler on the ship, and everyone else, Cass, jump in if I'm forgetting anything. There's a rescued whaler on the ship who's hunting a whale named Chompy, who just last night attacked his crew and killed all of them. The captain has been missing. There was something mysterious in the stew, which turned out to be the captain. Georgia is the center of everybody's attention, and she hates it. And I don't know, am I forgetting anything? Seems like a good recap of Act number 1. Okay, well, with my final, I think that was a horrible result, so I've got a bad die left. And I'm going to hand it off. I think I will hand it off. I think I'll hand it off to Johnny. I'll give it to Gilbert, just because he named a whale Chompy, and that's as good a reason as any. That's as good a reason as you need, right? So Johnny, you get that bad result die, and everyone take a look at your result die. We're going to go around. I only have 1, which is fine. I'm not sad about it. I just have 1 bad result die, but we're going to go around, and everybody just hold up a finger. Tell me how many die you have total, how many die you have tallied up, both bad and good altogether. Jordan, how many you got? 2. Brittany?
2.
You have 3. Okay, Johnny? Excellent. Johnny has 3 also. Anna, how many do you have, dear? Just the one. Okay. Well, that means that Brittany and Johnny have the most. So those 2 are going to work together. I'm going to bring up a link for you guys for the tilt table. And remember, we have, because we hit our retweet goal, we have 2 tilts going in, or no, we hit our sub goal. So we have 2 tilts. We have an extra tilt going into Act number 2. Let me see here. Tilt. There it is. I'm going to send you guys a link in chat, and we're going to have these 2 work together to pick the 2 different tilts. But while they're doing that, let's talk really quick. Where do we see this story going? What kind of chaos do we see? I mean, if you look at our relationships, we still need to end up adrift and on fire somewhere, Jordan. Right? We have to share that in common. I definitely want to find this whale.
Yeah.
Right? We need a captain for the ship.
Do we though? Really? Do we?
That's a good point.
That is a good
Would it
point.
be
I mean,
more
Well, I'll tell you
chaotic
where
if we
I
had no
don't see
captain,
this.
too?
Yes, we've had one this entire time. And what has he been doing but mouldering in a bed in a stateroom somewhere? See what
that's right. And being digested.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's eat or be eaten on this ship.
It sure is. Fabulous. Brittany and Johnny, any of those jumping out to you? Any tilts that you want to use to complicate things? Johnny, what'd you find?
So I have an idea of where you might want to go big picture, but I think at least me and Britt can collab on this. I like tragedy, death out of the blue, and I think Mr. Stu, Jimmy Stu, should die in some freak accident, and then that kind of will make Brittany's day better, and maybe something can happen in the steward ranks, right? Like maybe she's promoted.
I love it.
And part of emergency, or it's chaos no matter what happens. You know, Jimmy Stu
we've got
dying
a little
chaos.
we're going to have a little bit of a stew basket upset, is what you're saying. Is that Chief Stew Jimmy Stew is going to die, and the vacuum of power will come into effect. How he dies, well, I guess we'll see. We don't know yet, but that's great. Brittany, do you have one that sort of appeals to you in terms of the
I was also looking at tragedy. Are we picking one, or are we picking? I was also looking at tragedy.
I'll let Johnny pick one.
Death.
Okay, well, how about something different then? Just sort of mix it up a little bit, because we already have one tragedy death.
Okay. How about paranoia?
Mm-hmm.
A sudden reversal of fortune.
I like it.
For potentially one of our wealthy, maybe people sitting at the top of the screen. Maybe.
Might be. It could be a reversal of fortune for one of us. If we go into that sort of change of power structure, it could be a reversal for Margaret too, right? Maybe things get hard for her and she actually has to do something for once. I like that. Great. So for those of you watching,
I have to work.
So for everyone watching, for chat and everybody watching at home, what we're going to do is we're going to take this tilt and just sort of lean real hard in it to make this whole situation as bad as possible. And, you know, if other chaotic things happen, that's good too. All right? So moving in, we're going to start Act 2. In this round, we're going to do the same thing where we establish and then the scene resolves, or we use a die to resolve it. But at the end of our scene, we keep our resolve die. So add it to what you have from the first round, keep it. And then however many you have at the end determines how well the story ends for you, or how badly the story ends for you. Sound good? Great. All right, Act 2 starts the same way that we started the first one. Let's start with, actually, you know what? Let's go reverse. Let's go backwards. How does that sound? We're gonna kick it in. Yeah, Jordan loves that because she doesn't have to do anything for a while. We're gonna go clockwise. We're gonna go clockwise. So we're gonna start with Millicent, and Act 2 begins with Millicent. Are you coming into the room and you find Milton there with a dead body, or do you want to flash forward or do something else?
No, I think I am just waltzing in the room. And remind me again exactly how it was that you were finding this erstwhile captain of the ship.
Well, yeah, he's standing there. It's in his closet. And we'll say that, let's say like a couple appendages have been chopped off from the captain. And that's all he knows, but he's also not feeling well. So he's swaying even more than usual.
I'm so sorry about that, darling. And she's going to just come up and sort of lay a couple steadying hands as the ship is beginning to tilt rather precipitously. I hadn't anticipated that we would get into this quite so suddenly, but you see... Come. And she'll just sit down on one of the little, like, cabin bed things built into the wall and just pat the seat next to her. And she's like, now you see, I'm going to tell you a little story. Long ago, when my great-grandfather, Mordecai Trove Bickleworth, was the person who founded this great shipping company, he made a deal, you see. He would always be able to be the master of the seas if only gave a sacrifice of the most able person on the crew to the leviathans or something of the voyage or other. I'm not really sure. It's the kind of thing that mother and father... Yes, the great sea beasts. They always used to tell me stories about that when I was a little girl to try and scare me. But I never really believed that it was true. And, here we are. Poor Captain. I guess really correct me if after all.
I'm sorry, dear. I don't mean to interrupt. Did you notice there's a dead body in my closet?
Oh, well,
that's what you're talking about.
That's going to ensure at least the next 50 years. He was
that's-
very good
I
at
suppose
this job.
that's good news. Yeah. In the meantime, I do believe that's the captain. And does a ship need a captain? You know more than I do, being an employee of the company.
Yes, I suppose it does. I wonder about that. Did you ever have the chance to meet that smelly fish fellow? He was rather eccentric.
Smelly fish.
He was just going around yelling about Yar a lot, and I found him out.
Smelly fish fellow. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Oh, the man who
he
was
seemed like
leaving
he would
your
be
office.
the captain. Yes, that's the very same. Yeah.
No, I can't say I've had the pleasure, but do you think that he has something to do with this? Maybe he.
Oh, no. No, darling, it's the family. The family. We make this choice. We do this every so often. Yeah?
Millicent, are you saying that you've been dissecting the captain?
Oh.
Millie?
Well,
Millie?
when you put it that way, it sounds
Millie?
so vulgar.
I'm sorry, I take it all back. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pass out now, and perhaps once I wake, we could, you can remind me what we just talked about. And he sort of falls over and passes out on the bed.
I think I'm going to just pull out. Yep.
No, yeah, what does she
pull
do?
out a little. I'm going to just pull out a little notebook, and I'm going to start writing down some potential questions that I might ask at a job interview, because he spoke as a captain.
I love it. So
fine.
that's where we'll end the scene. Man, now this is tricky. Did this end well or poorly for Mitten? Number one, his BFF is kind of a murderer sea beast worshiper. Number two, he got to go to sleep. So did it end well or bad? I don't know. Let's say it ended badly, okay? Because he's going to be hung over tomorrow. So this time I keep my bad die. So I have another bad die, and I'm going to add it to my pile. And that's all we need to know about that. Anna, you get to go next now because we're going reverse. Oh, wait, no, you just went. Johnny, you get to go next.
Yes.
And so, yes. You're making your interview agenda. Johnny, when we last saw you, you grabbed a key and you ran away, a master key, and you're going somewhere. Where do we find Gilbert now?
So we find Gilbert still running, salty, sweaty at this point, looking wildly around as usual. And the way I see it is one of those circular cubicles, not cubicles, window holes. You know what I mean? There's a proper nautical term for them, but we're going to call them circular window holes for now. And Gilbert kind of glances out of it. And
hold on one second. Boat words.
Portholes, darling.
Boat words.
It's a boat word.
Portholes, nice. A porthole,
Porthole.
yes.
Oh,
now we
nice.
figured it out.
It's
Absolutely.
It's called a circle
Sorry.
window.
Circle window was pretty good. Spherical window of sorts. Porthole. He's looking through a porthole, and I'm going to use another one of these blue dice because we got to use them, and they're good now. What I want to do is leave this more open-ended so the rest of the gang and the cast can contribute to it. Out of the window, porthole, we see a giant burst of water, and this could be the legendary whale Chompy. It could be something completely different. It could be a fluke, but this sets Gilbert off. Gilbert is now in panic mode. He's like, we're all in danger. And he starts running. He's running, and he's holding his giant master key, and he starts to look for a supply closet. Do I find a supply closet or where they would keep weaponry or anything of that sort? This is kind of where I look.
He absolutely does.
The DM.
He finds. So I'm not a DM, so you could just say it, but I'm going to say for the sake of the story that you find what in boat terms we refer to as the harpoon closet, which is the closet where we keep all the harpoons, or at least they did in 1938. I mean, this is just historically accurate.
Excellent. So he starts to just over-encumber himself with gear, right? And I obviously picture there's a lot of rope in there. So he takes a surplus of rope, and he actually starts to make his way back towards Millicent's room, where you just passed out, Justin. So he starts running back to there with this harpoon gun, with all this this rope,
Armed to the teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I picture my Gilbert peeking into the room and looking and like kind of like just using like one eye. Are both? What does he see? You guys tell me what he sees. I guess. Are both of you in there? Does he see the body? Like,
I'm passed out. Right. I think he can see as much as he wants to see. So I pass out. You tell me. Anna, are you still making your interview list for him?
Yes,
Is
although
Millie
I
still
believe I
bringing up
moved
the
to the
question?
desk and poured myself another drink. I haven't bothered to close the closet door, though. I mean, this is the cat is
So
out
there
of the bag,
is-
so to speak.
There is a dead body. So I'll say, yeah, he sees that.
so he opens it and, Yarg, what the hell is that doing there? And pointing at the body, but
Oh,
fingers
well.
shaking and like ropes kind of falling off.
I will
Oh,
back up.
perfect!
Well,
We were just talking
the fish
about
man!
you.
Yes, well,
Yes,
just
the
came over
fish
and
man!
conversation.
I don't have the same fate as that laddie right there.
No, we were just thinking that given the current circumstances, you're next.
You mean I'm next for that?
And he's like kind of
Well,
like,
we lost the
edging away
captain,
from
so
you.
you're next.
Well, I guess I'm qualified to run this vessel. I mean, mine is made of wood and sail, but I suppose once you drive one, you drive them all. So sure, yes, I can run a vessel gladly. But I have very
No.
important news.
Now, what are you going to say? I don't know.
I thought you were going to go
Millicent.
first.
No, you said
Yes?
now.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes.
Before we can proceed, this. I mean, obviously, you've already come dressed for the job that you want. Oh, wait, I did that. I'm delightful.
Ah!
There were a few things that I wanted to ask first, just to make sure that you're very well qualified to drive this ship. Now, do you know what a boat is, darling?
Aha.
Yes.
Yes. Are you afraid of the water, the ocean, being submerged in it?
No, I'm very comfortable with the ocean.
Now, if I remember, my friend Millicent told me that she pulled you out of the water. Is that because you were afraid of it?
No, that is because a giant legendary whale named Chompy destroyed my crew and my vessel, and now I'm here.
Could we speak to this Chompy as a reference?
Apparently.
Yes. Perhaps we could speak
Yes,
to
you
this
can
Chompy.
speak to Chompy as a reference. Just here's how
Okay.
you meet with Chompy. Take a surplus of chum and you throw it overboard, and then jump in after the chum, and you'll have a nice face-to-face interaction with Chompy.
Yeah, no, I
think
don't
I
know. I
just-
would do that to my chums.
I'm sort of just meaningfully looking over at the closet there and being like, well, if it doesn't work out. Here's
Yeah.
the last thing. If you're going to be the captain, I'm not sure what your surname is, darling, but the captain is always known as Captain Bumbles. Would you like to be the next Captain Bumbles?
Yes, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to maybe rebrand and kind of leave the past behind me. Sure, yes, I'll be Captain Gilbert.
Wonderful.
May I make a suggestion, if you'd like? We've found that hyphenation works well. So my name is Milton Catamaran Muggins. You can be, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Gilbert Group.
Gilbert Group Bumbles.
Excellent, yes. It makes
Yes,
it more
it's a good,
sophisticated,
strong
I think. Yes,
It is.
yes.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Well, now the only thing we'll need is the master key to get into the captain's, the steerage, as we say on boats.
He kind of like looks down at the key, like he's like giving away like his everything. Is this key down? He's like,
All right, fine, I understand. I'm glad I found it when I did, or we'd be in trouble. I also didn't tell you. I believe Chompy is closer to the SS Siren Song than we thought. I saw a giant gust of water blow out of one of the portholes, and I'm afraid that might be Chompy coming to finish the job on old Gilbert.
Wonderful.
just completely ignores what this like really old man is saying, and he's like wonderful. Thank you for the job.
Capital. You're hired, I think. Wait, it's not my job to hire people. Darling, is he hired?
He's hired. He'll be
Yes.
explained.
He like holds the harpoon gun in the air, and he's all excited.
Yeah. I think that no one can argue that that did not end well for Gilbert Group Bumbles. Johnny, you got a good result add to your collection there. Let's find out. So last we saw our good friend Georgia. She was running after you, but apparently couldn't find you. Brittany, what's Georgia doing now?
Georgia's doubled over, hands on her knees. I lost him. Oh, okay. What would the number one steward on the planet do? And she just starts booking it to Chief Stew's office. And she will bust open the door and find Chief Stew there, maybe?
Yes, what is it?
There's a... Actually, can't remember if you know the man I'm talking about, but there's a man and he fell off a boat and he's a ship captain, but he's not our ship captain, and he's running. Now he's dressed like a ship captain, and he was in my closet, and he stole a key, one of those big golden ones. I've always wanted one of those big golden keys. Can I get one of those big golden keys, you think? I've proven quite responsive. Sorry, no. I lost him, and now he's running about the ship. Wait, you don't...
Stu gets up and kind of walks towards you and tries to smell your breath. He's like,
Have you been drinking, Georgia? Have you been drinking on the job?
No, I mean, I do taste each cocktail as it goes out, but no, of course not. This is real, but actually, Chief Stew, you don't look so hard. You're looking a little green. Do you have you been eating that stew? How much of that stew?
Oh no.
Johnny?
Black screen means he's dead.
He's dead
No.
now.
Perfect timing. No,
Johnny.
Literally perfect timing. I love it.
Well, I had a dabble of the stew, not too much, but you know how Steward Stew likes his stew. I like it hot and I like it spicy. There's nothing wrong with a little spice in the stew. Jeez. Everyone always makes fun of me for adding spice to the stew. I think it makes it quite delectable and kind of gets rid of that film in your mouth, if you know what I mean. Anyways, so you're saying there's a gentleman running around as a captain. He is now dressed like a captain, still smells like salt water. You lost him. He stole the master key, and now you've lost him.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. Great memory recall. But I'm more worried about you now. You're sweating like flop sweat, and are you sure? Are you sure you're okay?
Well, I mean, I feel a little clammy, but I just thought that was, the sea air on my face. Well, I could definitely go see the doctor. That is a great suggestion, Georgia. Thank you.
I'll get my coat and go now. And he starts to rummage and pick up his things to go see the doctor because he's all clammy and sweaty looking.
Now Georgia has no recourse because her Chief Stew is sick. Is it okay if I extend the scene a little bit longer? Cool.
Absolutely.
Great. Georgia's going to go out to the deck, out to the bar, and look for her dear friend, Margaret Muggins. And she finds Margaret probably not doing a job.
Oh no, now I created to the bar. I've got my adorable little martini and my little sunglasses. And as I see you coming, I'm like, oh, Georgia, how are you?
I've had quite the afternoon. Wait, did you make that martini? Did you make that yourself?
And she pauses for a second because she's thinking about lying, and she's like, no, I didn't. Oh, come sit here because my friend, and she points over at the steward that's now running the bar. It's like, oh, I need you to make another one of these for my friend, and invites you to sit down next to her and have a drink.
Abigail, no, the other steward who is just like probably running around for you. Please, no, Abigail, please attend to the actual passengers on the ship. Listen, Margaret, I never thought I'd say this, but I need your help. Chief Stew ate that spicy stew, and he's feeling looking real sick, and so he's in the infirmary, and there's a captain running around, not our captain. I can't find our captain, and I just need your help. I don't know who else to go to. I don't really have many friends on this ship, but will you help me? I need to find that crazy wet smelly man.
Oh, and she like leans over as if y'all are about to start gossiping about it. I know exactly who you're talking about. I literally had a conversation about them earlier while I was sunbathing, and I've heard they're quite the interesting person. And she sips. Oh, and you want me to help find?
Yeah, yes. What exactly did you hear? I mean, he's a shrimp fisherman. He saw a big whale. Probably hit his head. Is that all? Did you hear any good rumors?
Yeah.
Did you hear where he might have gone?
No, but I might know someone who does. And she's gonna hop up real quick. Ooh, I'm stuttering. Sorry. And she's going to grab your like wrist and like pull you along to go to her uncle's quarters. Uncle will know where everyone is, and so she's gonna kind of like. She thinks that y'all are having a ball. Guide you to her uncle's quarters.
I think that's good. And I think that's a good place to go. You sort of walk off. Here's my question. Now, was that all Brittany's scene, or Jordan? Do you want to count that as your scene as well? Because it kind of had a little overlap there, right? Or let's say it's just Brittany's. Brittany.
I was like, I'm okay with whatever.
Cool. Brittany, how did that go for you?
Terribly bad.
Got it.
Nothing
So
worked.
take a bad die. Okay, great. So let's go over to Jordan. Let's keep it going. Jordan, this is Margaret's turn to have a scene. Where do you go? What do you do?
Margaret takes Georgia to her uncle's quarters and knocks on the door because she assumes he's probably in there indulging.
Okay. So you knock.
In
You knock on the door, and a voice from inside says, "The position has been filled. I'm sorry."
What? It's me,
Oh,
Margaret!
Margaret! Margaret! He opens the door. There is a horrible smell coming from within, alcohol and something else, but he obliviously steps out, closes the door behind him, and he says, I'm sorry, I thought you were applying for the job of the captain.
Oh, not me, but Georgia, do you want to apply for the job of the captain?
Yes, Georgia, do you want to... Wait, no, it's been filled. It's been filled. We have the stinky fish man.
Mr. Catamaran Muggins, it's very, very nice to meet you. I've served you several Sazeracs already on this journey. I don't know if you remember me. I'm Georgia from Tennessee. Soon I'll be serving drinks in the sky. Have you seen a fishy, stinky, captain-esque looking fella with a giant gold key?
I would ask you to use respect. You're speaking about the captain of this vessel.
No. Not the captain of this ship. Is it captain of another ship? We have our own captain, right? Right?
I see where the confusion is. People can be captains of more than one ship. He was previously the captain of one ship, and since the existing captain is indisposed, now he's the captain of this ship.
Yes, so you're telling me that I can be the captain and the fishman at the same time?
Yes. In one fell swoop. But be
I'm
careful,
sorry, I
there's a
feel like
whale.
I'm in a dream. What happened to the captain? Our captain,
Well,
the real captain.
He's gone off with Millicent to the captain's quarters. Let's all go together, and I'll show you what it is. A scene. I think that ended. Jordan, that's your scene. How did that end for you?
I think it's very successful. I got to kill one stone. I the captain and the fishman. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You found out about the ladder of power, like how you move up in the corporate world of boat captaincy
Yes.
and all that.
Both
Great.
words.
So you get a
successfully
good
helped
result.
Both
with that.
words.
What's that? Yeah. Anyway,
I was saying
we're all
she
together.
helped Georgia. She didn't have to do, but she helped Georgia, which is that was very nice.
And she considers Georgia her good friend. So the three of us are together now. We're all just sort of grouping up. We're clumping like a big Katamari ball. And we're going to head off down the hallway from my scene. And I think that we're just headed towards the captain's quarters, if that's all right with all of you. And we just sort of walk on down. We're looking for the captain's place. Boat words. The place where the steering and captaining happens, right? That's what it is.
The helm, I believe. The helm.
Whoa! I'm not sure, but all right. You got one.
Look at you showing initiative. First day on the job. I knew I picked him good.
All right, so
Nice.
the three of us are headed off toward the helm. And I think along the way, we pass by the infirmary, the doctor's quarters, right? And the doctor comes out, and I don't know how this happened, but he's covered in blood, and he's just. It's like someone who just walked out of a scene from Nip Tuck, and he's just like got blood, and he's just sort of walks out, and he says, oh, he just sort of sighs like that, and Milton says, "Say there, boy, you've got red on you. What's going on?" And the doctor says, "We lost him. The head steward, Jimmy Stew. He's dead." Yeah.
No. Wait, did you do a surgery
Margaret
on
screamed.
him? Why covered in blood?
Yes, we tried to
He was just
remove
sick.
the...
He just had bad stew.
Oh, yes, but the infection had spread to his kidneys. We tried to remove them, then we remembered he needed them. Honestly, I don't have a lot of experience being a doctor. May explain why he's gone now. Anyways, I'd better clean up. And he turns around, closes the door. And says, "Oh. Well, now the head steward is gone. That means that perhaps... Oh, I've got two stewards right here. Maybe one of you could be the new head steward."
Why? Yes,
although I don't
would love to.
Oh, no. Well, don't
Georgia
move that
steps in
quickly. It
front
could be either of you as
of
far as I'm
Margaret.
concerned. Both of you seem
Margaret
equally
is so
qualified.
distracted by the chaos that just happened that she let you step in front of her. Because frantically fanning herself, like trying not to ruin her makeup by crying.
Mhm.
Also, is the doctor deciding? Are we saying the doctor is saying that he's going to pick?
No, this is me. Sorry, I only have one
Okay.
voice. No, this is
I
Milton
think we do need to
saying,
pick a new chief stew. This is the
"Oh,
perfect
we do,
job
but
for our
that's
new,
not my
new
job.
captain.
We should speak.
Yeah, our new
We should
captain.
speak to
could
the
maybe do
purser.
that. Oh, the
captain.
wait, why?
Oh, because
Yes, there's
she's
a
brilliant.
new captain.
Yes, and the new captain. Now onward, and they go off, and that's just my scene. I think that ended well for him because he found out why that doctor was covered in blood. So I'll take a good result die there, and add it to my pile. Let's keep moving. We only have 5 more scenes before this whole thing goes tits up. So let's check in over with our friend Anna. Anna, what's Millicent doing? And what's your scene look like?
Well, I think Millicent is probably giving the captain a little bit of a tour of the boat, like first day on the job orientation, all this sort of thing. This is where the cleaning supplies go, and this is the harpoon closet over here. We used to have a lifeboat closet, but we ended up taking out a whole bunch of the life jackets because we just didn't have enough room for the champagne, and I was like, oh, what do we not need? These jackets, so unfashionable. Yes, so here's the champagne closet, and why don't you come up here, and we're just going to go up to the observation deck for a little bit, because that is my
Oh, yeah.
chair, and I'm just like, oh. Now, do you remember, my dear fellow, what I had said to you about the secret ingredient of the stew, yes?
Yes, I remember.
Well, you see, it's rather special, isn't it? Because anybody who eats of it is marked by the sea, so they say. And when you came onto this ship, you were certainly bearing other trappings that the sea had left behind on you. But, yes, I do believe that this means that you'll never be able to set foot on dry land ever again. So I'm very glad that you were so enthusiastic to sign on being the captain and all that, because we do need people to ferry us around and all of this. But, yes, congratulations.
Congratulations on what? On being cursed? You've cursed me in my whole life. Oh, this is not my week. Alrighty, well, at least I get to do what I love and be a captain.
That's the spirit. You know, they say if you do a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, I do love being a shrimp slayer, but I can't say I don't love going on land either. You've taken that away from me, so I resent you for that, Lassie. Could you take me to the helm? I suppose I should familiarize myself with all the doodads and whatnot of this vessel.
Yes, of course.
Forwards.
We'll go to the helm.
Excellent. That's the end of that scene.
I think so.
How'd that
Very
go for
short.
Millicent? Yeah. How'd that go for Millicent?
Oh, well, it's going really
Good
wonderfully
result?
for me.
Yes.
Yes, I
Then
think
you get a
so.
good result die added to your pile. Excellent. And then we'll keep it going.
I would
where are...
like to just really quickly use my final resolve die that's up here on the screen to well, being marked by C, you see. It seems that the sea has already marked our dear captain. Usually it happens the other way around. So I would like to use this last die to anticipate the return of his old nemesis, Chompy the whale. So you remember how he said that occurred 8 hours ago? Well, funnily enough, we just so happened to be sailing through where we were. No, he was about 8 hours ago.
Oh, I love it.
Here he is.
I love it. Okay, so let's say that you're passing through Chompy territory is basically what Anna has added by using that, and I love that idea. And so I'm not sure how that'll play out, but it's your scene, Johnny. It's time for Gilbert Group Bumbles to take the helm, as it were, and decide how it's going.
So Gilbert, as a person playing Gilbert, there's a lot of emotions going on through his head right now. First of all, he just got this weird sea curse put on him through consuming the stew, so I can never go on land again. So that's lovely. And now he has all this power. So I would like to use this scene if we could have two NPC kind of say we're henchmen also be at the helm with me. I think that'd be great. Whoever wants to volunteer. Besides Millicent, I do need Millicent to be in this scene with me as well. So any of you three, it doesn't matter to me.
I can hench.
I'm thinking Tweedledee and Tweedledum type. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Ahoy!
All right. Shove off.
Thank you for
words.
Thank you for
We're
joining me
employing
there,
children
sailors.
again.
Listen here, we're undermanned and understaffed, and we're getting into uncharted waters now. Now, do any of you know anything about catching this old Chompy?
I was on vacation with my parents, and now I'm here.
Me too. Yep. I was stowing away in
bodies.
All right, well,
Here I am.
fortunately for you all, I'm a legendary sea captain as well, and I've been hunting Chompy for the last 3 weeks now. Now, Chompy is quite the greedy beast, so what he'll be needing is some bait. Now, what are your two names, sailors?
I'm Johnny.
My name is Tim.
Tim and Johnny, lovely. Now, Tim and
Yeah.
Johnny,
Oh, that's your
He turns around.
my
Sorry,
name's
this is your
Captain
real
Gilbert Bumble's group. Or group bumbles. I'm not quite sure on the order right now. A lot of things have happened to me in the last 2 days.
So he kind of turns around and he goes to a, I assume, supply closet and grabs some rope and he tosses it
Harpoon
to
closet.
into another harpoon closet that is
Rope
just
closet.
riddled throughout the boat. And he tosses Timmy a rope and he says,
Tie that bitch up. That is an order from your captain.
and he points to Millicent.
He looks around to try and. Oh, so he says,
Oh,
Hi.
oh, you mean me?
Yes, I mean you.
Hi.
You cursed me to never walk on land again.
All right. Hold still, please. Goes to very slowly. He's like 11.
What? Little boy,
aren't it-
have you ever been on a boat before?
Yes, today.
Yeah. Huh. My first time as well. Well, let's see. What is it exactly that you're planning on doing with me once you've gotten me all tied up with this terribly rough rope? Go ahead.
I'm gonna salute
Here's
the
the
captain
plan.
again.
I'm gonna have Timmy and Johnny here construct a bait device. So we're gonna think of a giant fishing pole, Miss Millicent, and we're gonna put you on the end of the fishing pole. Now, given not many people will willingly offer themselves up as bait to a legendary sea beast, so you're gonna be our bait for this evening. And I figured my my trusty sailors here will be able to handle this completely competently and completely without any mistakes. So, boys, if you could take Miss Millicent down to the poop deck and construct me a bait device to try and lure in Chompy, that would be great.
Poop deck. He said poop deck.
These two boys are played by the Chaos Chorus. They're the embodiment of chat.
Yeah, I'm just reading
I
chat
think-
right now. That's all that's happening.
What I want to know is, as we're like going around here with these ropes, is Millicent struggling, or what are you doing? What would she do?
She's going to play. I think she's going to play along with it for a little while, but she has a couple of ideas. I mean, if we're getting two 12-year-olds to tie up a grown woman, I mean, we're going to have to get a little bit more creative than that because I do own this ship after all.
Yeah. Okay. I think suffice to say that Timmy and Johnny do a really shitty job of tying her up and then like lead her off down the stairs, and just sort of walk off with them. Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. That's what I was. I was hoping for some sort of conflict between the two characters, and obviously with Timmy and Johnny, it works really well because like it kind of leaves the story open-ended, which I was excited about.
How'd that go? How'd that go for Captain?
I would say good. I would say he had two loyal sailors follow his commands, and he got back the woman that has now cursed him with this spicy stew voodoo magic stuff going on. So I figured that would be a good retort, because I debated where would Gilbert go if some lady was like, that stew we force fed you, it's cursed, and you're like, what? You're like, I can never get off this boat. That's terrible. So that's kind of where I go with it. Yeah, I loved it. It went well.
Can I share that I just had this realization that a lot of the story that we've come up with has to do with cannibalism, and your name is Gilbert Group. So it's kind of like what's eating Gilbert Group.
I was waiting for that pun when I was creating that. I'm a big fan of alliteration. So I was really debating not doing group, and I was like, no, he's Gilbert Group. In the chance that he becomes captain, it's Captain Group, and then you guys added Bumble's Group, so it was like a whole thing. But I was like, no, I'm doing
but it's
Gilbert Group.
our subconscious took us there, I think. Excellent. Lydia's yelling at me in the chat about jokes. All right, so let's move on here. We're back with these three yahoos, the two stewards and the uncle, I think, right, Brittany?
Yep.
And it's your scene. So what do we do?
We need to get to the captain. I need to talk to the captain. I need my place as Chief Stew. This is my time. Let's
and,
come on.
And I'd like to use one of my die to say that within this scene, Chompy the whale is going to crash into the boat. I don't know how you want to play that out because it's your scene, but that's going to happen at some point.
Got it.
Cool. I'm using one of these.
Got it.
All right.
So,
All right, this way to the helmet.
the helmet. All right.
The helmet
Boat
is where a
words, I
captain
guess.
steals a boat. Yeah.
And this happens after the tying up, and so now Johnny or Gilbert is in the Home Alone. Okay, hi, Captain Gilbert. Do you remember me?
Ahoy!
You ran away
Oh,
from
yes,
me.
you're that nice lady that guided me. Yeah, I was in your closet looking for some devices to fight off Chompy, but here we are. Look at me now.
He kind of does a little jig. He's like, "Oh, I'm a captain. This is great. What a turn of events!"
Yes. So much has happened in just a short amount of time, and you've got all these harpoons now. I see you found the harpoon closets littered throughout the ship for some reason. I have some bad news. Our chief Stu died. Something about kidney failure, infection. Try to put him back. I don't know. He's dead, and I'm hoping that you could appoint a new chief Stu. I would like to remind you that I am the best
towards your face,
stew.
like,
Did you eat the stew?
he's like this close to your nose.
Oh, well, Chief Stew always eats the stew. He likes it spicy. He puts some spice on the stew.
No. Did
And
you eat
I
the stew?
oh yeah, yes, of course. I eat the stew every time I'm on this ship. I think the first time I ate that stew was about 2 years ago, and I've been on this ship ever since. I love the stew. Why?
Gilbert looks like totally.
No reason for the time being. Don't worry about it. I heard the secret ingredient is kelp. They put kelp in the stew. Yes. We have sure. Yes. I have bigger fish to fry. We can definitely appoint you to head steward if that were whatever your title may be. Is it head stew? Is that it?
Chief Stew. I'm Chief Stew.
Now,
Yes, you're
one
Chief
moment
Stew.
there.
Congratulations.
Now, hold on. I have another candidate for the job. And it is my
Don't
niece,
say.
Margaret. Margaret, do you want a big, important job with lots of responsibilities?
And she stops in her tracks and is like, "Oh my goodness, no! But I would like a vacation. I'm in turmoil." And she's over in the corner, like fanning herself. So I'm really I think I need to I would like to some time off to like process myself. I think that a month will do fine. So yeah.
Listen,
I
Captain,
think that's
she's
reasonable.
asking for a vacation. She hasn't even eaten the stew yet. That's how new she is to this ship. I deserve this more than anyone. I don't even know.
Well, given the current circumstances of things, you did eat the stew. You're highly qualified. I see no reason not to promote you to head stew. That works for me. Welcome aboard the SS Siren Song.
And he reaches out like a salty hand for you to shake, even though that's totally inappropriate.
Salty hand. I think at that point there's a tremendous crash, and and the boat tilts, and all of us rush to the window and look out the window and see the form of Chompy, the leviathan, who has crashed into the boat looking for tribute from Millicent's family. I don't know. Anyway, so
Oh, hello.
So at that point,
it's been ages.
he's back again. So Brittany, how did that? So it ended well for you. You got a promotion, but also giant sea beast attacking. How'd it go?
For Georgia, promotion trumps giant sea beast.
There you
Doesn't
go.
even matter.
So that's a
This
good
was a
ending.
good scene.
That's a good ending for you.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Yep.
We only have 2 scenes left before we find out what the aftermath is and do once more around wrap all this up, maybe once or twice. We'll see. Let's check in with Jordan. And Jordan, this just happened. The whale ran into the boat. You didn't get your month's vacation. What does Margaret do in her scene?
I think Margaret's first. I'll just pick it up. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm gonna say that I've migrated up onto the deck. I think that all of us have, maybe, or whoever wants to see like the fish. And I'm standing with Millicent, and I look at Millicent and I go, "Do all of your vacations usually go this way?"
And she's completely wrapped up in rope at this point, albeit loosely.
Oh no, I forgot. Oh wait, are you with us? Where were you?
No, she's gone.
Yes,
She's
I'm
been
really
taken away. Yes, Millicent's gone. Do you want to speak to me?
Okay, then I'm gonna talk.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
I
yes,
use
you-
my can I use my die? My die
Yeah, do it.
to make something
do
happen.
it.
So I would love for
Yeah.
this to be the place where Margaret learns that she has no money. Is that a thing I can do?
Yeah,
this
I like that.
interaction.
So a reversal of
Oh my
fortune
gosh,
from Margaret. And I
yes.
say, yeah. So I think that it can come from Milton too. So he says, well, dear, did you think you were on a vacation? I'm on a vacation.
That-
Your parents
I-
sent you off to do this for a living now because they're not going to financially support you anymore. You've got no money.
No. They sent me here to think about what I've done in a
Yes.
calming, relaxing environment where I can self-reflect and then return.
When you say
And
calming and
still have
relaxing, the
money.
boat rams the whale rams the boat again. Yeah. Screams. Well, it is. No, I believe they wanted you to train to work for my friend Millicent's family. Speaking of Millicent, where is she?
Margaret starts hyperventilating because she doesn't understand what to do, and she's like, "Wait, no. That's not what's happening. And she like takes a. She's like, calm place. I'm in a safe place. Everything is fine. I still and she's just like stuttering and like taking control of herself.
Mhm.
And is Georgia up here?
Yeah,
I can be. Sure.
everyone except Millicent is up here.
She turns and goes, "The worst thing just happened to me," and she starts crying on your shoulder. She like buries her face in her arm.
Oh. I guess I'm starting my chief stew duties right now.
Ram.
What's
I'm your
wrong?
vacation
Oh.
process.
All right. Well, congratulations. This is your new boss, Georgia. Georgia, please take good care of her. She has absolutely no money, and yes, I'm going to find Millie. Jordan, anything else you want from that scene?
I'm very happy. I think that it's
Good.
good.
It's a horrible ending, though.
Oh no, it's a terrible
definitely-
scene. That's bad. 120%. However,
So add that bad result die to your pile. And here comes that last scene. I go up to Milton. Sort of stumbles down the steps from the hall room, the wheelhouse, boat words, and finds Millie just sort of standing there at the end, I think, of a regular fishing pole, at the other end of which is Timmy and Johnny, who completely misunderstood the directions, and she's still loosely tied up. Jordan, I'll need you to play Timmy, the little boy first mate, and Johnny. Okay.
you got it.
I say, Millie, what's going on here? Did you see there's a big fish?
I did, yes. The new captain has this absolutely spiffing scheme, and he thinks he's going to feed me to it.
Oh,
Millie's
good
our
news.
bait.
That-
It's gonna be really exciting.
Wow. It should have been Tim from the beginning. Where is it? Yes, it sounds very exciting, young first mate. Now, under order of the captain, I do need you to release my friend here because we have something grown up to discuss.
Those are
Untie
captain's orders?
her. Captain's orders.
Are you
But
sure,
wait, we're not
sir?
supposed to listen to adult conversations. We gotta go.
Taxes, mortgage,
Well,
I'll say
401k.
something nice I'll say something nice if you untie me and let me go.
Yes, she will.
if I untie you, you're gonna talk about baseball, okay?
Sure.
We're going. Yes, talk about baseball.
Okay. Johnny's gonna start untying.
And then Milton looks at Millicent expectantly.
Now, you see, once upon a time, there was a base and a ball, and
Yes.
they were
Stories.
sometimes far away from each other and sometimes not. Oh, look, the poop deck! And she just points rather dramatically, hoping that the small children
Poop deck.
will be distracted by the notion of poop.
Yep.
Ha ha ha!
They go running.
And she's
They go running off.
away.
They go running off, and as they run off, we notice that they're running through a giant cloud of smoke because apparently the engine room is on fire.
Oh.
Now, Millicent, I've been meaning to speak to you. Good news, George is the head steward now.
Oh, wonderful. Didn't even have to do another interview. That would have
Yes.
been too taxing for a
No.
single day.
But I thought you'd want to know that for your records. There was something else, too. What was it? Oh, yes, we're being attacked by a whale. Is this a friend of yours?
And that explains the whole bait situation. You could say that he's really more like a family member at this point. Not the sort that you have around for Christmas dinner, mind you, but yes, we do make trips to see him every year, so.
He seems a bit
happy.
angry. Any idea of how to calm his nerves? Perhaps a drink?
That's always a possibility. I hear the flaming shots on this ship are absolutely excellent.
Oh, well, let's go and get one of those. And we go off to the bar, and we come back with the necessary equipment to set drinks on fire. So we basically have Molotov cocktails in our hands. And
Literally and
and,
figuratively.
yes, and Milton sort of lights one on fire and he says, "But all right, let's hope this goes well." And that's where we end Act 2. So now what we're going to do, first of all, that was a great ending for Milton because he got to hear about baseball and see rescue his friend Millicent. So I'm going to put one last good die in my total. So here's what we're going to do for the aftermath. At this point, all 5 of us have 2 different piles. We have a pile of good die and bad die from both acts, all sort of put together. What we're going to do is, if you just use like a plain old dice roller, roll all your good die at the same time and roll all your bad die at the same time, but keep them separate. And we want to know the totals of each. Okay? So I've got, for example, 2 of each. So I'm going to roll 2d6, just using the Google, our dice roller of choice. So I rolled my 2 good die, which means I've got a score of 8 good. And then I'm going to roll it again. And I got a 10. So I've got 10 bad. So I've got 8 good, 10 bad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the higher number, which is bad, and subtract the lower number, which leaves me with a score of 2 bad. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the aftermath table. So everyone determine your good or bad number. Whichever you have the higher number of is going to be your result. It's not a huge difference. But I've got black 2, which means that for bad 2, what this means is we're going to go around the table once or twice, and we're going to have a little montage of just everything that happens once Milton throws that Molotov cocktail. And at some point, this is going to determine the end of Milton's story as we know it. Milton rolled a bad 2, which means that his result at the end of this is going to be brutal. Wounds that will never heal, for starters. Stuff sawed off, blown off, or burned off as on your way to a grand ignominious failure. Kiss whatever you care about goodbye. You might die, but you might not. And that's going to be how Milton ends up, which sort of makes sense. Let's go around just the same way we've been going. Anna, have you done your math yet?
Yes, I have. I can't seem to find the table, though, but I've got a good 7.
I can read it for you.
I had no bad die whatsoever.
Of course you do. With a good 7, your ending is weak. You're busted, beat, and broke down, but at least you've learned a lesson about human greed and frailty. It'll serve you well in prison where you're probably headed. You're alive. You learned something. You're not dead. This is the kind of fiasco that we're headed towards. Who else has their math done? Johnny, you got a number for me? I'll just read it out to whoever wants to.
5 good. I got 8 good.
All right.
3 bad, so 5 good. Yeah.
The captain, your ending is miserable. You're humiliated in a big public way. And whatever reputation you once had is now in dirty pieces all around you. You'll never think of these days without a shudder as you horror at your own aggressive stupidity. I like that a lot. Jordan, you had your hand raised. What you got? Oh, you're muted.
Is an 11 bad?
Okay. 11 bad is pretty good. All things considered, you're coming out of this smelling like a rose. You're a little better off. Maybe you got the girl, or perhaps you just didn't get caught. So it's all wild and crazy, but we think that Margaret's going to make it out all right after this montage. And how about Brittany? How about Georgia?
Georgia is 8 good.
Oh, wow. 8 good. Nothing to crow about. Not better, but not worse. Maybe the car or ship is wrecked, or your wife is leaving you, but compared to some of these other people, you're doing pretty well. So everyone hang on to that. What we're going to do is let's go around thrice. So what we're looking for the montage is we're looking for a brief short scene, like this is my character doing this, and then this is what happens, right? We'll start same way we've been going. So we'll start with, actually I'll start because I'm the one throwing the Molotov cocktail, right? So Milton is going to head into this montage with this slow motion scene of Milton throwing the Molotov cocktail. And halfway through, remembering what Millicent said about baseball, and remembering that he's never been involved with sports, and the Molotov cocktail goes about 10 feet and crashes onto the floor of the boat and sets the boat on fire. And he says, oh, well. Anna, what happens with Millicent?
Oh gosh, I think at that point, probably Boris the boat police has shown up to ask about the body in my closet, and I just sort of turn to him, and I'm just like, dun 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 dun.
All right, so you are confronted by Boris the boat police. He says, "We found the body in your closet. Please, you will come with us and put these ropes back on."
All right.
He picks up the ropes, but he doesn't tie you up just yet because it could, Anyway, Johnny, what happens with the captain when he's looking out the window and sees his whale there?
So since it's a very bad ending for Gilbert, I pictured as Chompy has come back to finish the job that he once done, and Gilbert notices this from the helm and scuttles down to the observation deck. And I don't know how you guys have been picturing the ship, but I picture at the very point, right, there's like a singular point that one could run and jump off of, and Gilbert has a spear in his hand, and he goes.
Right.
This is for me and my crew. Yarr!
Okay,
And
pause it.
Don't
Jumps off. Yep, freeze frame. So because we still got 2 more times around. So that's what Gilbert does.
Oh, yeah. There was more. It wasn't the
off.
end there. Yeah.
Okay, go. Yeah. Cool. Brittany.
Well, I was gonna have it so that as he's jumping,
go ahead.
his underwear gets snagged on the very tip. And since this is in the aftermath, it's like a day that I never want to relive again, and my reputation is ruined. Like he's just hanging by his clothes,
is right.
dangling from the pit of the boat, and just kind of swaying there like a pendulum by his atomic wedgie.
Yep. I love it. Georgia, what happens to Georgia?
Georgia, consoling Margaret Muggins, whispers in her ear, "You will be my protege," and like pats her on the back, and we see like a mini montage of Georgia trying to train up Margaret. As best
My
they're doing
Fair
cocktail.
Ladying her. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing like cocktail Olympics and
A vision of the future. Whether it's real or not, we'll see.
yeah.
What about Margaret? What does she do?
Can I define one of those moments in the montage?
Yeah, for sure.
As in, like,
Yeah.
okay, so one of the moments that you see in like this little baby montage of like me becoming George's protege is like several making the fire cocktail that fail epically, and you just see George in the with like a fire extinguisher, and then the last one is me finally getting it, and then I spill it.
Excellent.
George is holding the
Excellent. I
fire
love that. I love
extinguisher
that.
ready to use it, like, and then is pleasantly surprised when she doesn't have to. Of like,
The next scene is Milton running around the fire and grabbing one of the harpoons from the harpoon closet. He says, "I'm going to be a hero!" And he runs around the fire. And then he goes to jump off the boat. But since he ate the stew, this enormous tidal wave comes up and pushes him back onto the boat. And he falls into the middle of the fire and he catches on fire. And he's running around with a harpoon caught on fire. Anna. What is... Yeah. You got
I
Boris
think
there.
as Millicent is being led away in chains or whatever by Boris, who is the only person on this ship doing his job, she'll just sort of like turn around and be like, "Goodbye, old sport. I'll never forget you." And the bad recorder version of the Titanic theme song plays as Milton sinks to the bottom of his watery grave. Except every third note is just a little squeaky, kind of like this whole endeavor.
Love it. Johnny.
I think Gilbert would pick
pantaloons.
I picture him kind of strung up, and he's just kind of screaming there for help. He's like, "Yarg, help me! Chompy's gonna get me, and I don't want to die like this. Not by death by wedgie. Help!" And he's just kind of swaying back and forth by his underwear, hoping that someone rescues him. However, you would rescue someone hanging from their underwear. Yeah.
Great. Georgia.
Georgia's gonna. This is completely out of time, but Georgia's going to walk by the captain, hanging from his underwear, and say, "Oh, would you look at that?" And then she'll reach and grab the master golden key that's attached to his waist, and say, "I knew I'd get this at some point. Thanks." And she walks away.
And as she's walking away, you can hear the captain saying, "You're cursed! You'll be on this ship forever!" And then as he's swinging there.
Excellent. What about Margaret? What's she doing in this? Oh,
I
you
think
muted
after all of this, she ends up going over to Sense off in like a moment of just, she's had a really bad day in this particular moment, but she will kind of dramatically lay her head I just hit myself. I'd lay her head across the desk and like start like gently, like tears are flowing down her face. But she maybe drawer weird and finds a journal that she'll read.
Oh. Ooh, I can't wait to see whose journal that is. Milton's on fire, and he can't get off the boat because of the curse. And so he just sort of takes one of the Molotov cocktails and pulls the rag out before it catches on fire and just takes one last swig. And he's like, "Oh, well, Hold that, tatty bye, and he falls over dead. Millicent. Boat words.
A wee little bit of flash forward montage after the trial, conviction, inevitable sentencing, and all that to Millicent wearing her prison clothes, just sitting on this sort of bed, scratching the family name into the wall and everything. She does so like to leave her mark wherever she goes. She just sort of sing-songs this little thing to herself. I should have eaten the stew. I would have so liked to have gone down with the ship.
Oh, I love it. Captain.
I think we get a very wide array of a montage in Gilbert's mind as he's swaying back and forth on this underwear pendulum. And it's a very traumatic one to start out. You know, it's dark, it's foggy. The Chompy comes up and devours the boat. His crew is devoured, and he's floating amongst the log. And then just a more comical montage starts to populate. And then it kind of freeze phrases in the closet, and he goes,
"That's where it all went wrong. You should have just got the stew and stayed out of the trouble. Gilbert, now look at you."
and like the montage like comes out of the headspace, and he's like looking back at his strewn underwear, and he's like,
"This is who I am now. The front of the ship." Boat words.
and that's
Boat
how
words.
Gilbert's story.
As they say. And that's how we got the term boat wedgie for the person that's on the front of the boat.
Right.
Okay. Brittany. Georgia.
Yeah, you see Georgia in her new digs. She is in the chief stew's quarters, and she's got a big bowl of stew right next to her, and she just took one big bite, and then she relaxes back onto her this bed is bigger than her previous bed, and there's a big closet, and she kind of sits back and sees what she's created. And then you also see smoke coming in through under the door, because I'm pretty sure the ship is on fire.
Oh yeah. Adrift and on
But
fire.
she's fine with it. She is Chief Stew, and nothing could go wrong.
If only she was serving drinks in the sky. If only she was serving airplane drinks. Jordan, you're our last montage scene. Take it home. How does the story of Margaret end?
Margaret opens up this really old journal. She's not quite who the author is. However, inside the journal is all of the theories and lore about all of the different sea monsters and being tied to the sea. And in the very back, on the last page, is the recipe for the stew. And she takes the journal and tucks it in her pocket, and she returns to the bar to start her practice, becoming the next best stewardess.
I love it. And that is what we call a fiasco. All right. Fantastic, y'all. That was so good. Chat, how about this cast? Huh? How about these people that I was so lucky to be put with? That's terrific. Hey, we still have some time left, and so we're going to leave the Roaring 20s music on, because it's pretty much everything right now. It's my whole life. And maybe we'll go around and we're going to do a little bit of debrief. We're going to do a little bit of recap. So I thought we'd use a tool that I've learned about through a great DM tips show, and that we could all use, called Stars and Wishes. So what we'll do is we'll go around, and for each person, I want to hear about a star. So whichever place was your favorite part of the story, whatever thing happened that you'll always remember, one thing that someone did that was really great. And then I want to hear a wish. So this is just a one shot, so we won't be playing this again, but I want to hear about the next time you play Fiasco, the next time you play a game like this, what are you hoping for? What kind of story do you want to tell? And since I made the suggestion, I'll go first. My star my star was somewhere within the second act. Things got absurd. Like, things went off the rails in terms of like boat words and harpoon closets and cannibalism and sacrificing people. And of course, Anna has to make everything into an eldritch horror story. And so so of course that came up. And I loved that we were a crew that happened, and we all said, yup. And we all said, let's go for it. And we just sort of moved ahead with it. I thought that was amazing. So that was the thing I appreciated the most about it. Wishes, I wish that I could use an accent in a way that doesn't automatically go to a British accent or a bad British accent. I really wanted Milton to be an American, and every time I opened my mouth, he got more and more British. So that's something I'm going to work on in future games. But I loved Milton, and we can talk more about that in a little bit. I'm so happy about that. Who's next? Let's reverse it again. Let's do an Uno reverse. Jordan, stars and wishes. What was your star, and what's something that you're wishing for next time you play?
I think that my star was when Georgia decided to take my character, who has just been a complete pain in the butt the whole time, on as her protege. Because it makes me, I love fantasizing about what the future holds for these people, even beyond the game. I just see them as like this evil power duo at some point. Like,
I think, just to expand on that a little bit, I think they get off the boat, right? They've, like they take part of the boat with them magically to like fulfill the pact or something, but they survive for sure, right?
Oh, that's true. If Margaret has the journal and has the secrets, then maybe Georgia isn't attached to the boat somehow, or they figure out a way. Oh.
So that's
and
my
Margaret is
continuity.
always down for a good gossip session, so you know everything.
That's true. We're best friends.
What's Jordan, what's your wish? What's something you look forward to in the future?
I don't know that I have one particular wish. I've never played, I think it's just legitimately to play this game again. I've never played a game that have a GM or a DM, and I love the fact that everybody has like complete creative control. There's like no boundaries.
Yeah.
And so I look forward to playing it again in general.
Yeah, I love that take, and I get this growing appreciation for games where for the sake of this stream, I looked like a GM because I kept saying who's next, this was next, whatever. But really, there is no GM. You're right, and so it's kind of like everybody's adding these truths, and I'm starting to appreciate more and more games where the players do the world building, the players add the truths. Just this past weekend on EncounterCon, I got to play the terror system that Jonathan Fry created and that Charlie helped create, and it was just a blast because there's so much of it is you say what's true, and yes, and all of us say, yep, that's absolutely true. It's called a harpoon closet, and it's so silly. Cool. Hey, Brittany, what's a star and a wish for you? So, what was your moment?
I have so many stars. It's gonna be hard to pick one single thing, but I really do like the random scene that just happened to play out between Gilbert and Georgia in the hallway, which was just like so, and like they were just like, let's just get to know each other for a quick second while we're like getting through, and then also like him like taking off was just hilarious. I just thought that was great, and it gave me a little mini moment to like establish like the things that my character, I had like given my character a backstory, and that was like the only time it needed to come out because it was just to this random man that had just shown up on the boat. I thought that was great. I also did love turning the two little henchmen into children. That was hilarious. Not sure how that happened, but it was great.
I don't either.
It's great. For wishes,
what's something you wish for next time?
Yeah, I want to play this game again, 100%. Also, there's chat was talking about doing a musical version of this, which if that's not a wish, I don't know what is, because I am totally into that. So it's such a good idea because this is totally right for this. Yes,
that's not a wish.
Exactly.
It's a play.
Yeah,
One thing I'll say, so again, Fiasco by Morningstar Games, written by Jason Morningstar. They have a ton of these play sets, and almost all of them are free to use. Almost all of them are downloadable, and just they populate those lists that establish relationships and stuff like that. And there are some that are like touring rock band, behind the music thing. There's all sorts of different settings, so that's always a possibility in the future. Absolutely.
I do have one more wish, if
Johnny.
I could just say.
Oh yeah, wish it.
If you
wish it.
So it's really easy. So I was just only really role playing at first with Margaret and Gilbert, and I wish I could have role played a little bit more with Milton and Millie. This is my only thing, and I just didn't realize that I could have created scenes until it was like halfway through, and I was like, oh shoot, So that's all.
Yeah. Well, I think all 5 of us want to play together again sometime, and all of you are fabulous. So we'll get our chance at some point. Johnny, a star and a wish.
A star and a wish. I have a bunch written down, but I'll give you 2 of each if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
First of all, claps off to you guys because I love the characters that all 5 of us have played, and what I really liked about them is that we shared very minimal knowledge before. Like, I didn't even tell you guys, like, I didn't even make the name group till yesterday intentionally, so that none of us really knew what shenanigans we were going to get into, like, off of the brief descriptions we shared in Discord and whatnot. So that was like my biggest thing, is like meeting all these characters for the first time, both as a viewer and as a role player in the scenes, right? So I thought that was just like amazing. So hats off to you guys. You guys made awesome characters, and I loved interacting with them. And I really enjoyed what I enjoy about this play style is the organicness of interaction, because I struggled with, before we were playing, what the scene structure was going to be like. And since we never done one of these before, I was like, okay, like, how's this going to go? And the exchange I had with Georgia in the beginning, where it's like, I was like, okay, what does Gilbert need to start off his story, right? He's like, well, he's hungry. He's been at sea for days. And then that kind of segued into all this stuff, into the stew, into like the whole plot, and just like the organicness of Fiasco was what I was really, really passionate and liked a lot. So those are my 2 things I really like, just our cast characters and that interaction, among many others. I could talk about this all the time. And then the 2 wishes, the one I hope is that when I do a Fiasco again, or if it's with you guys, if we decide to play again, which I hope we do, I hope it's just as much fun, because I feel like that was stellar, and I feel like I had a great time. And like when you have the best session and you're like, yeah, let's do this again, and you're like, oh, it wasn't nearly as good as the SS Siren Song, you know what I mean? So I hope that, but I assume we can always step it up. And then yes, kind of same as what Brittany said. I wish we had more scenes, all 5 of us together, and that's pretty hard to do when you think about everyone's storylines and arcs and goals and motives, etc. But I wish all 5 of us got to have some banter together. But besides that, I mean, awesome, fun time.
Right. And it's funny how it definitely headed that way in the end. It was almost like we were all clumping together, and it sort of all headed into this place together, like the sort of culmination. That doesn't always happen in my experience. A lot of times sometimes players never meet, or characters never meet. But I think you're absolutely right. Anna, my BFF, my platonic life partner, what are your stars and wishes?
Millicent. Oh God. Oh,
we're Millie and Millie.
Stars. Someone already said it. I think it was,
We're Millie and Millie.
Oh, I think somebody already said what I was about to say was, Brittany had said something about Timmy and Johnny just like showing up out of nowhere as these characters. That was my favorite part. Like, none of this was planned. I don't know, like, what the audience must be thinking of right now. Like, how much did they chart out? We literally all came up with names like less than 48 hours ago, and all that we had beforehand was our characters' relationship to each other and one sort of like secret thing, I guess, that we shared, something like that. And that was it, and everything else was just made up on the spot. But like Timmy and Johnny, next level of made up on the spot. That was brilliant. I enjoyed it. I love that we recast Timmy halfway through the scenes. It was just,
he got written off.
Like,
yeah, we had to bring in a new actor.
He got too old.
Exactly.
His voice dropped.
I loved how this started out like a Coen Brothers movie and then turned into like a sitcom of The Damned. It was just weird and delightful. Something that I wish for next time, because I definitely want to play this again. It's my first time playing this system. Is I would really like to maybe facilitate a sort of Fargo style version of this, because as I was reading through the rule book, I was like, this reminds me of like all the Coen Brothers movies, which I love and watch on repeat constantly. So I was like, what say we did a Fiasco but in Fargo, because I think that would be super fun.
Absolutely. And it's
also,
funny because this is
Millicent totally has a Rita Hayworth-sized portrait of Chompy the whale on her wall in prison. That's canon. That's not part of the montage. That's just how it is.
her deity, Chompy the whale. That's another one of mine. If I could choose another star, it's that Johnny, I think, knew in advance that he was hunting a whale, but just waited and figured the name would come to him, and then it was Chompy.
I had to. I didn't want to make something like too epic or anything. Like I was like, what are you gonna call this whale? Like what is your bit? And I was like, Chompy works. Chompy's a good simple whale name that a whale would say.
Obviously. Oh my gosh,
Whale
so
words.
good. Okay. Let's go around. Anything else we want to share about using the system? I know we mentioned a lot of it already in that last little go around, but just talking about Fiasco in general. I was talking earlier, I was chatting in our Discord, the Encounter Roleplay Discord, which is a great place to meet people who like to talk about games and find people to play with in streams. And I'm sure that someone will put a link in the chat. I was talking with Colin, who's going to be coming up a little bit on Cult I Am Pilgrim, and we were talking about Fiasco as like it's less a role-playing game and more a series of improv prompts. You know what I mean? It's just like, here's facts about your world, now act them out. I simplified some things in the game, but we hardly made any dice rolls except for that aftermath roll. You know, so it's not your traditional role-playing game in terms of rolling dice. It's mostly name your favorite fast food restaurant, you know, and we just go with it from there. Anyone else have any input on the game system itself? Anna said maybe a Fargo one, a different setting. I wouldn't mind seeing something a little darker maybe sometime. This ended up pretty campy, but that's good. It was good. It was right for this game. Anyone?
I think
It just
that
reminds me of like.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Sorry. I was like, it honestly, this whole game just reminds me of sitting in high school, taking a piece of paper, and everybody writes a sentence of a story down, and at the end you read it, and it's absolute chaos. That's like this whole thing, just that nostalgia. You have no idea what's going to end up. Sorry, continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think to anybody that is a little intimidated by the idea of a GM-less game, to just friggin' go for it. Like, Justin was technically our facilitator because he was the one that, like, said, hey, I'm going to play Fiasco. Y'all are going to be in this game, learned the rules, got the playbook set up, and basically, like, walked us through the very beginnings of character creation. But I think you would be surprised, like, how much you can enjoy playing something that is this level of just rules light and also have a lot of fun with like collaboratively telling the story. I really liked that part of it a lot. I love the fact that none of the stuff about the stew or the whale or the captain or any of that stuff was planned. And yeah, enjoy the GM-less game. Go for it. Have fun.
Do it. You don't need a GM. Although good GMs are fun too. They're always good.
It's true, yeah. But even I mean, like, this is a really good game if you are wanting to like help your friend that's the forever GM not have to do all of the prep work and stuff like that, because you all prepare together. There's minimal prep, and everybody gets the chance to play. So like, yeah.
I would also say it's a really good game for really honing those improv skills, which because the skills that we use here in terms of like saying yes and contributing things to the scene and stuff like that are all things that you can use in other games, right? And for a lot of folks, that's a hurdle to get over. That can be tough to develop those skills, but this game completely relies on them. Yeah, right. Speaking of good GMs and great games, let's be clear here now. Cult I Am Pilgrim coming up next in just about 10 minutes. So stick around for that. That's a fabulous game run by a twisted and wonderful GM, Penny for a Tale, who's Mitch. And it's gruesome and terrifying. It's horror-based and dark horror. So if you are a soft baby like me, you can you don't have to watch, but it's okay to take breaks and all those sorts of things. But it's a terrific game, so we hope you stick around for that. Before we go, let's go around and we will talk with everybody here. We want to know who you are, where we can find you on the internet, what you've got coming up, plug all the things you want to plug. We still got some time, so take your time. And we'll start with Jordan, like always, apparently. Jordan, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you doing? What's new?
Hi, I am Jordan,
Hi.
aka Sassy with Sander. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere under Sassy with Sander. I do music covers too. I sell cosplays. I am going to sell cloaks if I can ever get that finished. I think I've said that for like months now. And then also I dabble in TTRPG and video games all across the little interweb. So come join me and we'll just throw glitter at people in love. That's what I live for. So.
Yes. Do you have anything else coming up that you want to talk about? Just you hanging out and throwing glitter. Just glitter.
Not right now. I'm kind of taking a minute to get myself in order. But I hopefully will get back into more of the TTRPG scene here soon. So.
I hope so too. And it was so great to play with you. Brittany, tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Where can people find you online? What's going on?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Brittany Lee. I'm also on Twitter as part of D20 Dames. So you can find us at D20 Dames and D20Dames.com. D20 Dames is getting a thumbs up from Anna, yes. D20 Dames is an all-femme, family-friendly, not quite like this show, family-friendly D&D podcast. And we have episodes released every other Tuesday. It's really, really fun. Check it out if you're looking for something for the family or for a road trip or just for yourself. It's also very heavy role play too. I love doing little like one-shots and or shorter sessions with lots of different groups of people. So reach out if you want to do something like that. I'm wrapping up a Star Trek Adventures kind of mini series on September 15th, our third and final show on Gamers Table on Twitch, if you want to check that out. What else? You can find me like just hanging out and streaming every now and then over on Facebook at fb.gg/Brittany Games. Sometimes there, sometimes just hanging out, playing some games. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany. It was so great to have
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Hey, Johnny, on his first ERP stream, and just demolishing it, just being amazing. Johnny,
thanks,
who are you? Where can we find you?
Hey, my name's Johnny Blams, and you can find me as Johnny Blams on all your major social platforms. That's your Twitter, your Twitch, your YouTube, and your Instagram. A lot of my content is roleplay heavy. I stream pretty much every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, unless I'm doing stuff like this on Wednesdays or whatever day, which I'm greatly excited about. Things I want people to know. I'm doing a one-shot tomorrow for Cult I Am Pilgrim here with Encounter Roleplay as well. I'm playing actually a creepy photographer character who takes pictures of the deceased at funeral homes and tries to steal baby pictures and collages them into one grotesque kind of thing. So that'll be
if you were wondering how messed up Cult is, like you just answered it by describing your character, right?
Excellent. I was hoping I was on par with the creepiness. And what if everyone comes in there like, God, dude, that's messed up. And I'm like, so yeah, I'm in that tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm also an admin and community member over at Wild RP. It is a Red Dead Redemption server for roleplay. So if you're interested into getting into some Red Dead roleplay, if you want to be a cowboy, if you want to be a Taylor like me in that realm, you can check that out at wildrp.com to get your application in. But yeah, follow me on Twitter to see all the dumb stuff that I say and all the roleplay stuff that I get into. And that's that. Thank you so much, Justin. And thank you guys for letting me be a part of this. I absolutely loved what we got to do today. It was awesome.
Awesome. Anna.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I'm Anna.
Not Melissa.
Also known as Nymeria. Most places that you can find me on the internet. Mostly that's here nowadays on the Encounter Roleplay channel and in the Discord server. I play in the Star Trek Adventures game, which is coming back after our hiatus tomorrow. We're playing with an all Klingon crew as we look for the legendary Sword of Kalis. So if you like that kind of stuff, yeah, come hang out. And that's directly after the Cult one-shot that Johnny's in, which, hi, I'm also in. I'm not going to say anything just yet about my character, except suffice to say that she comes from a small village that is so poisonous and toxic that everybody there has to carry around gas masks constantly all the time, just in case. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, in addition to that, I do have coming up starting next week a game that Justin's also in. It's called This Rough Magic over on Heroes Without Limits. That's a channel that is dedicated to promoting games that are made by chronically ill and neurodivergent content creators. So we will be playing in that. I will be the GM. And like I said, it is a City of Mist game, so everybody is going to be playing as a character that has a real-life myth or legend living inside of them. So if you like mythology, folklore, fairy tales, all that cool stuff, make sure to check that out. That starts next Wednesday. It's going to be great.
Awesome. It'll be great. Fantastic. I'm Doc Rimbo. You can find me as Doc Rimbo on Twitter or in the Discord or wherever. What else? Well, Anna mentioned that starting next week on Wednesdays, we'll be playing in This Rough Magic over on Heroes Without Limits. In 2 weeks, I'll actually be back here. I'm going to miss a session with Anna's group because we're going to be continuing One-Shot Wednesdays. Next week is the Terror RPG, and in 2 weeks, I'll be back to play in a worldwide wrestling RPG with some fabulous people. And then in 3 weeks, we'll be back with a Monster of the Week one-shot. So those will continue. On Tuesday of next week, I wanted to share that I'm also going to be over on Final Show Films. We're doing a bi-monthly one-shot using the 5e rules, and it's for people who are bi. And so we're going to be over there doing that, and that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's see, any other things? Big thank you to chat for hanging in there. Big thank you to folks who are watching this on YouTube. Please give us the thumbs up and tell us something nice in the comments. And big thank you to our sponsors, Helmgast and Modifius. We love you all very much. Everybody, you gotta stay tuned for Cult because then you'll sort of see what Johnny and Anna are getting themselves into tomorrow, and it's going to be a wild mind trip. So please stick around for that and come back next week for more One Shot Wednesday. Thanks, cast. Thanks, everyone. Everybody who's watching. We love you all so much. Thank you. That was a fiasco. We'll see you next time. Bye.